recording now, Prabhu.
Haribol. Okay, you can read more.
Oh, should I continue?
Yes, bro.
All glory, all glories to this personality of Godhead, known as the son of Srimad Devaki Devi. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna, the brilliant light of the Vrishni dynasty. All glories to the personality of Godhead, the hue of whose soft body resembles the blackish color of a new cloud. All glories to Lord Mukunda, who removes the burdens of the earth.
Hmm. Who is talking this actually? Who's the author? Oh, King Kulashekara, of course. Oh, Lord Mukunda, I bow down my head to your lordship and respectfully ask you to fulfill this one desire of mine, that in each of my future births I will, by your lordship's mercy, always remember and never forget your lotus feet. O Lord Hari, it is not it is not to be saved from the dualities of material existence or the grim tribulations of the Kumbhipaka hell that I pray to your lotus feet, nor is my purpose to enjoy the soft-skinned, beautiful woman who reside in the gardens of heaven. I pray to your lotus feet only so that I may remember you alone in the core of my heart, birth after birth. Okay, once read.
O my Lord, I have no attachment for religiosity or for accumulating wealth, nor for enjoying sense gratification. Let these come as they inevitably must, in accordance with my past deeds. But I do pray for this most cherished boon, birth after birth. Let me render unflinching devotional service unto your lotus feet. O Lord, killer of the demon Naraka, let me reside either in the realm of the demigods, in the world of human beings, or in hell, as you please. I pray only that at the point of death I may remember your two lotus feet, whose beauty defines that of the lotus growing in the Sarath season. I always think of Lord Hari, whose joyful lotus face bears a gentle smile. Although he is the son of the coward Nanda, he is also the supreme absolute truth, worshipped by great sages like Narad. The desert of material existence has exhausted me, but today I will cast aside all troubles by driving into the lake of Lord Hari and drinking freely of the abundant waters of his splendor. The lotuses in that lake are his hands and feet, and the fish are his brilliant shining eyes. That lake's water relieves all fatigue and is agitated by the waves his arms create. Its current flows deep beyond fathoming. O mind, please never stop taking pleasure in thinking of the Muro demon's destroyer, who has lotus eyes and bears the conch and this weapon. Indeed, I know of nothing else that gives such extreme pleasure as meditating on Lord Hari's divine feet.
Oh, foolish mind, stop your fearful fretting about the extensive torment imposed by Yamaraj. How can your enemies, the sinful reactions you have acquired, even touch you? After all, is your master not the supreme Lord, the husband of Goddess Shri? Cast aside all hesitations and concentrate your thoughts on Lord Narayana, who one very easily attains through devotional service. What can that dispeller of the whole world's troubles not do for his own servant? The people in the vast ocean of birth and death are being blown about by the winds of material dualities as they flounder in the plurious waters of sense indulgence with no boat to help them. They are sorely distressed by the need to protect their sons, daughters, and wives. Only the boat that is Lord Vishnu can save them. Dear mind, do not bewilder yourself by anxiously thinking, how can I cross this fathomlessly, fathomless and impassable ocean of material existence? There is one who can save you. devotion. If you offer her to the lotus-eyed Lord, the killer of Naraksura, she will carry you across this ocean without fail. I can continue.
O Lord of the three worlds, we are drowning in the vast ocean of samsara, which is filled with the waters of material hankering, with many waves of illusion whipped up by the winds of lust, with whirlpools of wives, and with vast schools of sharks and other sea monsters who are our sons and brothers. Oh, Krishna, see our position. We are in the crazy ocean, and there is all kinds of things. There is huge waves. There is sharks that are our sons and brothers. And, oh, this is crazy place. O giver of all benedictions, please grant me a place on the boat of devotion that is your lotus feet. And there is the spiritual master with the boat, trying to rescue us. Once our Savior has been seen, the whole earth becomes no greater than a speck of dust. All the waters of the ocean become mere droplets. The totality of fire becomes a minute spark. The winds become just a faint sigh, and the expanse of space becomes a tiny hole. Great lords like Rudra and grandfather Brahma become insignificant, and all the demigods become like small insects. Indeed, even one particle of dust from our Lord's feet conquers all. O people, please hear of this treatment for the disease of birth and death. It is the name of Krishna, recommended by Yajnavalkya and other expert yogis steeped in wisdom. This boundless eternal inner light is the best medicine. What is this? For when drunk, it bestows complete and final liberation. Just drink it. O mortal beings, you have submerged yourselves fully in the ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of misfortune. Please hear as I briefly tell you how to attain your supreme benefit. Just put aside your various attempts at gaining knowledge and instead begin constantly chanting the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya and bowing down to the Lord. Or, or master the personality of Godhead, Narayana, who alone rules the three worlds, whom one can serve in meditation and who happily shares his personal domain, is manifest before us. Yet still we beg for the service of some minor lord of a few villages, some lowly man who can only meagerly reward us. Alas, what foolish wretches we are. Hmm. O lotus-eyed Lord, please sustain our lives as we constantly relish the nectar of meditating on your lotus feet, with our palms prayerfully joined, our heads bowed down, our bodily hair standing up in jubilation, our voices choked with emotion, and our eyes flowing with tears. Yeah, I hope to come to this stage. Okay, wants to read?
That head is the loftiest, which is white with dust from bowing down to Lord Krishna. Those eyes are the most beautiful, which darkness has abandoned after they have seen Lord Hari. That intelligence is spotless, like the white glow of the moon or a consul, which concentrates on the Lord Madhav, and that tongue rains down nectar, which constantly glorifies Lord Narayan. O tongue, praise the glories of Lord Keshava. O mind, worship the enemy of Mura. O hands, serve the Lord of Sri. O ears, hear the topics of Lord Achyuta. O eyes, gaze upon Sri Krishna. O feet, go to the temple of Lord Hari. O nose, smell to the birds on the Lord Mukunda's feet. O head, bow down to Lord Adhukshala. All glories to Lord Narayan. Without remembrance of his lotus feet, recitation of scriptures is merely crying in the wilderness. Regular observance of severe vows enjoined in the Vedas is no more than a way to lose weight. Execution of prescribed pious duties is like pouring oblations onto ashes, and bathing at various holy sites is not no better than an elephant's bath. O Cupid, abandon all your residence in my mind, which is now the home of Lord Mukunda's lotus feet. You have already been incarnated by Lord Shiva's fiery glance, so why have you forgotten the power of Lord Murari's disk? Think only of your master and sustainer, the Supreme Lord, who is known as Narayan and Madhav, and who lies on the body of the serpent Ananta. He is the darling son of Devaki, the hero of the demigods and the lord of the cows, and he holds a council and the bow Saranga. He is the husband of goddess of fortune and the controller of all the universes, which he manifests from his abdomen as a pastime. What will you gain by thinking of anything else? O Madhav, please do not let me even glance at those whose pious credits are so depleted that they have no devotion for your lotus feet. Please do not let me be distracted from listening on the worthy narrations of your pastimes and become interested in other topics. Please, O Lord of the universe, let me pay no attention to those who avoid thinking of you, and let me never be unable to serve you in some menial way, birth after birth. O enemy of Madhu and Kaitava, O son of the universe, O Lord of the universe, the perfection of my life and the most cherished mercy you could show me would be for you to consider me the servant of 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 your servant. My dear tongue, I stand before you with joined palms and beg you to recite the names of Lord Narayan. These names describing the supreme absolute truth bring great pleasure as if exuding honey. At every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayan. I perform worship to Narayan. I recite the pure name of Narayan and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayan. O Srinath, Narayan, Vasudev, Divine Krishna, O kind friend of your devotees, O Chakrapani, O Padmanabha, Achyuta, Kaitavhari, Rama, Padmaksha, Hari, Murari, O Ananta, Vaikuntha, Mukunda, Krishna, Govinda, Damodar, Madhava. Although all people can address you, still they remain silent. Just see how eager they are for their own peril. He is the jewel riding on the back of Garuda, who carries away the Lord's devotees on his wings. He is the magic jewel protecting the three worlds. The jewel-like cloud attracting the Chataka bird, eyes of the gopis, and the jewel among all who gesture gracefully. He is the only jeweled ornament on the ample breast of Queen Rukmini, who is herself the jewel of beloved consorts. May that may that crown jewel of all gods, the best of cowards, grant us the supreme benediction. O tongue, please constantly chant the mantra composed of Sri Krishna's names. This is the only mantra for destroying all the enemies. The mantra worshipped by every word of the Upanishads. The mantra that uproots samsara. The mantra that drives away all the darkness of ignorance. The mantra for attaining infinite opulence. The mantra for curing those bitten by the poisonous snake of worldly distress. And the mantra for making one's birth in this world successful. O mind, please drink the transcendental medicine of Sri Krishna's glories. It is a perfect medicine for curing the disease of bewilderment, for inspiring sages to engage their minds in the meditation, and for tormenting the mighty Daitya demons. I alone in the medicine for restoring the three worlds to life and for bestowing unlimited blessings on the Supreme Lord's devotees. Indeed, it is the only medicine that can destroy one's fear of material existence and lead one to the attainment of supreme good.
O Lord Krishna, at this moment let the royal span of my mind enter the tangled stems of the lotus of your feet. How it will be possible for me to remember you at the time of death, when my throat will be choked up with the mucus, play and air. O mind, think of the lotus eyed Lord who reclines on the mountain like serpent Ananta. O tongue, glorify him. O head, bow down to him. O hand, join your palms in a supplica- supplication of him. O body, offer out outstretched obligations to him. O mind, sorry, O heart, take full shelter of him. That supreme Lord is topmost deity. It is He alone who is all auspicious and supremely purifying. He alone who hours eternal perfection. One who hears the descriptions of Lord Janardana pastimes and glory, glories qualifications, but whose bodily hair flies to burst up in the ecstasy and whose eyes fails to flowed with tears of pure love. Such person is indeed the most degraded rascal. What a condemned life he leads. O Lord, the powerful thieves of my senses have blinded me by stealing my most precious possession. Uh, ah, my discrimination, and they have thrown me deep into the pitch dark well of the dissolution. Please, O Lord of Lords, extend your hand and save this wicked soul. That is one. This body beauty is fleeting, and at last the body must come some to death after its hundred of joints have separated with old age. So why, bewildered fools, are you asking for medication? Just just take the Krishna Exerius, that the one cures that never fails. The greatest wonder in the human society is this: people are so irrevocable that they reject the life giving nectar of the Lord Narayana names and instead drink poison by speaking everything else. 39 bro. Let my relatives all abandon me and my superiors condemn me. Still, the supremely blissful Govinda remains my life and soul. O mankind, with arms raised high and declare the truth, I declare the truth. Any mortals who chants the name Mukunda, Narsimha, and Janardana day after day, even in the battles or when facing death, will come to regard his most cerebral inventions as no more valuable than a stone or a block of a wood. Raising my hands, I utter this compassionate advices as loud as I can. If those in the renounced order wants to be delivered from the terrible poisonous condition of the material life, they should have the good senses to constantly hear the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya. My mind cannot turn from the Sri Krishna lotus feet even for a moment. So let my dear ones and other relatives criticize me, my superiors accept me or reject me as they like. The common mind spread evil gossip about me, and my family reputation be to fight. Uh, for a madman like me, it is honor enough to feel this flood of love, God, which brings such sweet emotions of attraction for my Lord. May Krishna, the spiritual master of the three worlds, protect us. Continuously bow down to Krishna. Krishna has killed all our enemies. Obeisances to Krishna. From Krishna alone, this world has came into being. I am the servant of Krishna. This entire universe rests within Krishna. Oh Krishna, please protect me. Oh Lord, O young cowboy, O ocean of mercy, O husband of Lakshmi, the ocean daughter, O killer of Kamsa, O merciful benefactor of Gajendra, O Madhava, O younger brother of Rama, O spiritual master of three worlds, O lotus eyed of the gopis. I know no one greater than you. Please protect me. Your wife is beauti- beautiful daughter of the ocean, and your son is Lord Brahmana. The Vedas are your prerogative. The demigods comprise your company of servants, and the liberation is your beneficial. While this entire universe is display of your magic power, Srimati Devaki is your mother, and Arjuna, the sun Indra, is your friend. For these reasons, I have no interest in anyone but you. The wise in habitations of the heavenly regions knows that the perfection of the head is to offer prostrate obeisances to the Supreme Lord. The perfection of the life breath is to worship the Lord. The perfection of the mind is to ponder the details of his transcendental equalities, and the perfection of the speech is to chant the glories of his qualities. What a man, even if most sinful, has ever said, the Lord, the blessed name Narayana, and failed to fulfill his desires. But we, alas, never used our power of speech in that way, so we had to suffer such miseries as a living in a womb. The ultimate and inflammable Vishnu, who is always present within the heart, lotus of the heart, grants fearlessness to those who fix their intelligence upon him. The devotees who meditate on him will reach the supreme perfection of the Vaishnavas. O Lord, O Supreme Lord, O Vishnu, you are the most compassionate. So now please show me your favor and bestow your mercy upon this helpless soul. O ultimate Lord, kindly uplift this wicked who is drowning in the ocean of material existence. O Lord Hari, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. Obeisances to Lord Madhava, enemy of the Madhu demon. This beautiful form lying on the crutch of the serpent Ananta is sprinkled by shower of the sprays from the milk ocean waves. By themselves, the word Krishna, Krishna is sufficient to drive away the sins of all the living beings. Anyone who possesses the devotion for Lord Mukunda, that is ceaselessly imbued with scarcity, holds in the palms of his hand the gifts of the liberation, worldly influence, and wealth. This world was composed by King Kulasekara, a bee at the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed Lord. The king, the king, two beloved friends, and the twin stems of the extended to lotus of the Brahmana community, expert Vedic scholar renowned as a leader of the community of the poets. Who's among those who resist this Mukunda Mala will not achieve complete happiness. An embedded being who chants these prayers will have all his sinful reactions eradicated and proceed straight to the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu.
Haribo, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Prabhu, please forgive me. I was stuck in the middle.
No
Sorry.
problem. Much than that,
Okay,
man.
bro.
Anyone
Hare
can.
Krishna. Just love Prabhupada.
Hmm. Srila Prabhupada always liked to chant the verse 33, since he chanted that the most, and the verse is sung independently many times. Who has heard this? It's the prayers of King Kulashekara. Let's see.
कृष्णात्तदीयपदपञ्जरान्तम् अद्यैव विशतु मे मानसराजहंस प्राणप्रयाणसमये कफवातपित्तौ कण्ठावरोधनविधौ स्मरणं कुतस्ते कृष्णात्तदीयपदपङ्कजपञ्जनान्तम् अद्यैव विशतु मे मानरसराजहंस प्राणप्रयाण समये कफवातपित्तौ कण्ठावरोधनविधौ स्मरणं कुतस्ते
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. People. Hare Krishna Luvesh Prabhu. Are you back?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here.
Yes, Prabhu. Are you going to give us tips for remembering verses?
Yes. Just give me a second.
Okay, Haribol. Hare Krishna Devang Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Okay. So these tips are actually very simple. And they pertain mainly to the translations in particular, because more than uh, the verse, I have seen devotees struggle with directly trying to translate what they have memorized. Right? So they're memorizing a Sanskrit verse, then what happens is they end up chanting it properly, but then the translation they completely forget, right? Of course, those that are not Indians, they will find it difficult both
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
easier with the translations, right? So it's kind of this switch up. So for those that are in India, okay, um, memorizing verses is not that difficult because the language itself is very similar to Hindi. So, but when it comes to the translations, for when the Indians have to chant the translation, then they struggle a little bit. So, how exactly do we do that? So, I'll actually give you all some tips. Okay, how many people are here? 13 people. Okay, wow. Oh, Hare Krishna, Abhay Prabhu. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna, Devang Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Haral Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Dharani Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Drona Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Garuda Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Vibol, okay. Oh, Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhu. You actually made it. Nice. I didn't expect you to make it today. But yeah, welcome to the Istagoshti session. Today is actually not a real Istagoshti session. It's just a regular Q&A thing, Sangha. So just give me 1 second. Actually, turn off. So I think you can all see me, right? Oh. Hi.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so maybe we can go to an example verse on Veda base. Let's see a very common verse. Okay, let's go to chapter.
15 Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can share my screen. Yeah. I should put the Zoom meeting here. And then okay, so you can all see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Perfect. So if you just take this verse, for example, okay, Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, verse 7. And if you remember, for those who were present in at that time, when Manu Prabhu was giving out some very nice tips, this aligns a little bit similar to those tips as well. So let's take this verse, for example. Now, if you look at each of these lines, obviously this is a very common verse. How many of you can chant this verse without looking? Maybe raise your hands. I don't know. Okay. Or maybe type in the chat because I can't see if anybody raised their hands. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, Dharani Prabhu can. Smita Krishna Prabhu can. Okay. Who else can chant without looking? This verse. Yada yada hi dharmasya. First two lines. Okay, Sami Prabhu. Anybody else? Who can chant this verse? That's it? Only 3 people? Out of 12 people, only 3 people know how to chant this verse fully. It's a very common verse. Yada yada. Very famous verse. Okay, Drona Prabhu also knows first two lines. Okay. All right, first two lines. Okay, I get it. Yeah, okay. First two lines are the most popular ones. So I think you all know. Devang Prabhu. Okay, you also know the full thing. Okay, you heard in the Tamil Mahabharata. Okay. Abhay Prabhu says first two, Prabhu. Okay. Okay, so most of you know the first two, the rest know the full. Okay. How many of you have heard of the mind palace technique? Mind palace. You build a palace in your mind, memory palace. Have you heard of that method? How many of you have heard of that method?
This is new, Prabhu.
Really, you don't know memory palace?
No, Prabhu. I know.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. And this is a very simple technique. This is a kind of technique that will allow you to memorize anything and everything within the shortest amount of time and with maximum retention. Okay, this is what I usually use for a lot of things, not when I'm memorizing the Sanskrit verses, because I have a different technique for that that works for me, but I'm talking about anything in English, because this particular tip, this first tip, is directed towards the Indian devotees. Okay, those who know how to chant the verse but not the translation. It actually works for both, this technique though. So I'll start with the Indian devotees who struggle to remember the translation even though they know how to chant the Sanskrit. So actually the Sanskrit verse comes first. So I'll actually target the non-Indians first, because that is what comes first, because they have to memorize this and they find it very difficult to memorize it. So for those that are not Indians, so Sami Prabhu, I think, Lebohang Prabhu. So Sami Prabhu, I think you're already there, right? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Lebohang Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so you're there. Okay, so only 2 people from not India. Okay, so particularly for you two, let's start with this verse. Now, whenever you see a word, right? Yada, yada, idharmasya. Okay, let's just take the first line, for example. The first two words are yada, yada. Okay, and they're the same word, so it doesn't really matter. But yada, yada means what? Now you go to the synonyms and you look at whenever and wherever, right? This is what it means. Correct? Whenever
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
wherever. That is the meaning of these two words, right? Whenever and wherever. Now, what I want you both to do is I want you to picture a favorite place or a clock, for example. Let's say you picture the Kurukshetra battlefield as your favorite place, for example, because I mean, this is Bhagavad Gita. So if you keep the picture, the mental image of the Kurukshetra battlefield, from the BBT paintings especially, then it immediately becomes easy to remember the word yada. And yada yada, because it repeats twice, it means whenever and wherever. So if you remember the picture of the battlefield and a clock, whenever and wherever, a clock and then a battlefield, clock and battlefield. If you just remember these two things as mental images in your mind. And by the way, this is where the memory palace comes in. Basically, you build a kind of dome, a kind of palace within which you start to make a kind of story. Okay, it doesn't have to make any sense as such, but this is something you can do. So if you are living in your home, for example,
Please, full obeisance, all glories to Shri Prabhupada.
who is there?
I think Prahlad
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, Pranam, Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prahlad Bhakti Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Lord Pranam,
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, all glory is all of you.
So
What is going
basically,
on?
so I was just teaching them how to giving them some nice tips on how to memorize verses.
Okay. We also have Chaitanya Leela Prabhu from Australia and Karunamai Mataji and their 3 children also here in Pondicherry. Later, I will call them for this meeting for a while.
Yes, Prabhu.
Later. You continue. Yeah, I'll be back after some time, okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. So basically, you have a clock and a Kurukshetra battlefield, right? And then he, of course, means certainly, that which is certain. So you can't do much about this word. So you leave this word as it is. And dharmasya means dharma. What now, Sami Prabhu, what is the first image that comes up in your mind when you hear the word dharma or dharmasya?
Bull.
A bull. Okay, perfect. So basically for you, you can imagine this word dharmasya as bull. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is very simply take an image of your home. You know all the rooms in your home, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
You know what happens when you enter what is there when you enter the home, and then you know which rooms are where, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to do the following thing. I want you to imagine the main room which you enter into for the first time. So when you're entering your entrance, right? The first room that you see, imagine that room as Kurukshetra battlefield. Just imagine that room as the Kurukshetra battlefield. And in that room, do you have a clock?
No, Prabhu.
Imagine a clock there.
Okay.
Just imagine a clock. Right? And dharmasya, you can imagine as a bull. So you can pick any room that you want to go to next. Okay. So let's say you pick the closest room next to the one you just entered into. Okay. From your entrance. And in that room, just picture a bull.
Yes, Prabhu is there.
Yeah. So that's the first line. Immediately, just by imagining this, you will remember the first line. So if you close your eyes, you'll immediately be able to understand how to chant this first line simply by this picture. Because we are beings that memorize better with visuals. So if you just enter your room, you see a Kurukshetra battlefield, it signifies a place. Yada, yada. So time and place. Yada, yada hi dharmasya, the bull. When you enter your next room, there's a bull right there. So immediately you memorize the first line just by visuals. And then glanir. Glanihi means discrepancies. So personally, whenever I hear the word discrepancy, I picture a book with many spelling mistakes, for example. So I can technically make it look like the bull in that room is reading a book with many spelling mistakes. That's another part of the story. Then Bhavati. Bhavati means become manifested. So maybe you can think that, okay, that book in front of the bull became manifested, and now the bull is reading that book, which is full of discrepancies. Then Bharata obviously means India. You can just think of that as your entire home as a whole thing, right? Bharata, your entire land of Bharat. So yada yada hi dharmasya. So when you close your eyes, you enter your home. You imagine a place, you imagine a clock. Immediately that reminds you of yada yada. Then you walk into the next room. Immediately, it reminds you of hi dharmasya, the bull, right? And what is the bull reading? A book which manifested in front of the bull, and that book is full of discrepancies. Glanir bhavati, Bharata, in your home. Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati Bharata. And then abhyutthanam adharmasya. Abhyutthanam means what? Predominance. Now, we can't do much about this word. That can remain as it is. Adharmasya means the opposite of religion. Maybe you can picture a black bull. Like dharmasya can be a white bull, the adharmasya can be black bull. For example, abhyuthanam adharmasya. And then you see a black bull in the adjacent room. Then tadatmanam. Tada means at that time. Atmanam means self. So in the room in which the bull is, you can picture a clock, except that clock is going backwards, for example. Tadatmanam, and then Srejamyaham. Atmanam, of course, means the self. So you can just say that, oh, I am looking at that black bull. I can see the black bull. I am situated in the room of the black bull now because now I've gone to another room. Then Srijamyaham, manifest again. I manifested myself in that room. So yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So if you close your eyes and just visually try to portray in your mind what you're seeing as you go on, you can remember each line of the verse. Basically, the whole point is try to build a visual story based on all these words and the synonyms. When you build a story and visualize each of these words, then it becomes slightly easier to picture each line of the verse. So if you close your eyes, Sami Prabhu, close your eyes and actually try to picture and try to then chant the verse.
Prabhu, it's too hard.
Just enter the room, you picture a place and you picture a clock. Immediately that reminds you of yada yada, time and place. And then you walk into the next room. Then you see a white bull. Huh?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this could be possible, but it takes more time to properly save it in the mind.
Yeah, but the thing is, my story itself may not be very easy to remember because I'm just trying to make things up on the spot. But if it were you, you can try to visualize these in a way that you can remember.
So do you remember many of these?
Yes. Yes.
So you have like storage of these?
I have memory palaces, yes. It's easy. I mean, you just picture an environment you're familiar with, and then, you try to add things in that environment which can help you remember things.
Yes, Prabhu. You understood.
Like if I'm just using it, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyam. Right? It's not easiest to do with Sanskrit verses, but at least with English, it's a lot easier. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharat and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. One way of doing that is this.
Yes, Prabhu.
Try a memory palace somehow, Memory palaces are very visual. They can help you memorize whatever. That's my point.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, just trying to make visuals. Yeah.
Maybe Lebohang Prabhu can also create a palace.
Yeah, he can try. Oh.
Prabhu.
Lebohang Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Try to create a memory palace based on that verse.
Like imagine, like should I create my own imaginary thing?
Yeah, like create a memory palace which helps remind you of each line of the verse.
Okay. So let's say like, should I start like word for word, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's based on the word for word only. Yeah. Or you can just remember it even without a story, technically. If you just picture images in place of these words. So like you see a clock here, you see a Kurukshetra battlefield here, you see a white bull here. Immediately you know the first line. Clock, Kurukshetra, bull. Yada yada dharmasya. Finish. Line 1 is done.
So okay, let's say for yada yada, I would see someone who's, what can I say, who's disciplining someone. Yada yada he,
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Someone who's disciplining someone, yes, from talking too much. Like let's say when you talk too much in the class,
Yeah.
So it would remind me of in here, in this classroom, you see.
Okay, there you go.
And then Dharmarsia, every time I see Dharma, I always think of Lord Buddha because that's where that is the first place where I saw Dharma actually.
There you go. That's the first line. That's it. First line immediately finished, memorized. Because now you have visuals for everything. Now you because the mind is better at seeing pictures than just mere words and letters and weird symbols, that is difficult to
Yes,
memorize.
yes.
Make mental images of each of these words somehow or other, and then you somehow memorize it.
Glanir, I would picture a room made out of just windows.
Okay.
And
Windows.
then, sorry,
Windows, yeah.
yes, yes. And then Bhavati. I would say, okay, let's say someone who's trapped inside those windows, Bhavati. Someone who's strong,
Okay.
someone who's strong, trapped inside those.
You know what you
Sorry,
should do? You should try to make images based on the meanings of these words. Based on the meanings of these words. So, for example, Glanehi means discrepancies, right?
Yes,
And you
yes,
said Glanehi reminds you of windows. So you
yes,
can
yes.
remember Glanehi as windows that have a scratch or windows that have cracks. Cracks are discrepancies, right?
Oh, I
Yeah,
was not aware that we should use the words below. I thought you were just saying whatever comes in the mind when you think of the word.
that can be only if absolutely necessary. But in most cases, you should try to keep it with regards to the meanings of each of these words from the synonyms.
Yes, yes,
You get it? Just like you did with yada yada.
yes, yes. Yes. Oh,
Yeah. Except you can imagine where that is taking place, between the two people, whenever and wherever.
yes, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. You can try it like that.
Sorry, Prabhu.
You can try it like that, where you make visual images based on the word meanings. You get it?
Okay, let's say yes, yes. So should I start again?
Yeah, you can try again if you want.
Okay, what could yada yada? Okay, like let's say a place, a place of austerity, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Like
perfect. There
there,
you go. Perfect. And let's say a place of austerity in Satyayug, for example.
Oh yes, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's perfect. Immediately you remember that yada yada means whenever and wherever, because it's indicating a
Oh
time, place when
yes,
you
yes.
when you picture. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Manu Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranamanu Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Goes to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, we're like we on here now, ne, Prabhu?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be with all the words. You can always do it with most of the major words, Like, for example, dharmasya.
Okay. So Dharma should also change it, or can I keep it with like let's say Lord Buddha?
Yeah, if you want. That picture helps you
So much
memorize.
more.
Yeah. Like,
And then
just make the image something that strongly reminds you of the word religion. Dharma in particular, dharmasya or dharma.
yeah, that's why I say Lord Buddha because that's why I say he was teaching those principles, of pain and what letting go, of those pains and everything.
Okay.
And then he said, "What's the meaning of Klanir?"
You said it
Okay.
reminds you of Windows or something, right?
Yes, and then you said, okay, I can use it as windows that have scratches on.
And these are discrepancies, right? So that glani he means discrepancies.
Yes,
Yeah.
discrepancies. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can think like that.
And then what do we have?
Bhavati.
Bhavanti.
Something that manifests itself somehow. Somehow that becomes manifested.
Something that became manifested.
Maybe you can think of it this way. Maybe because the
Like
windows, maybe
Arjuna
because the
manifested
windows
the
have
weapon.
cracks. See, you can think of it like this.
Oh,
Maybe because the windows have cracks, right? Someone burst through that
yes.
window and manifested himself. Something like that.
Oh, someone. Oh, okay.
You
I
have to
get
be
it,
creative,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. You have to be creative. You have to be creative and you try to tie things as one story rather than separate things, separate images. You can try to keep it like one story.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. And
Now I
Bharata
get
will be
that.
just that this happened in the land of India. Like there's someone bursting through a cracked window happened in India. Immediately, Glanir Bhavati Bharata. Immediately you memorize.
Oh yes, in the forest. I don't know if they have forest because we said yada yada. He is like their austerity, right? Place of
A place of
austerity.
austerity. Yeah.
Usually they go in the forest outside.
Yeah. Then Abhyuthana means what?
Which one?
Predominance. How would you picture the word Abhyuthanam, which means predominance?
I was thinking of Abhimanyu, but then you said we must make the story correlate. Yes, Prabhu. I don't know how to put it, Prabhu. Predominating.
Maybe you
Okay,
can
predominating.
maybe you can think about a very strong fragrance of flowers that dominates the person who burst through that window in India.
Oh yes.
Predominance. He's predominated with the fragrance of like he's very strong in the fragrance of uh, flowers, for example. Yeah, Pranjal Prabhu, I'm just doing like mind techniques. That's all.
Or like predominance of energy, like the
Okay, yeah,
person who
okay.
appears.
There you go. Abhyuthanam. And adharmasya is just the opposite of religion.
The opposite of religion.
Yeah.
How can I use it? Because the first one we said it's Lord Buddha, right?
Yeah. Someone who is not
Even though,
Buddha.
and sorry.
Someone who is not Buddha then. Adharmasya.
Yeah, because they're all atheists, by the way.
I know, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe Asuras.
I really like the example of the bull that Sami Prabhu gave, you know. That fits better with the word dharmasya. So white bull can be religion, dharmasya, and black bull can be adharmasya, you know, like that.
Yes, Prabhu.
And tada means at that time. So again, there is a mention of time. And then atmanam, there is self. Srajami means manifest and aham means I. Right?
Yes.
So close your eyes and try to just chant the first two lines based on this.
Yada yada he. Dharmasya.
Then
Yeah, there's this one, the crackings. I forgot the crackings. Glanir. I think it's Glanir.
because the word glanir sounds like glass, right? You can remember it like that. And then automatically you'll understand. Glanir means discrepancies.
Bhavati. I think it's Bhavati.
Yep.
And I forgot the last one, Prabhu.
In India, Bharata, no?
Oh, the forest. The one that I said it's the forest.
Yeah. The point is you have to be creative with it. It takes a bit of time.
Yes.
The thing is, this technique takes practice because no one here, at least apart from me, is used to this kind of a technique, right? Because they're not used to making stories and visualize things.
Yes.
But this is just a
But I
tip
see,
to know
Prabhu,
that.
this technique is actually used for if you don't want to forget a thing.
Yeah. Because see, when we're memorizing these shlokas, we should have them memorized for the rest of our life. You know, not that we memorize today and then forget tomorrow. What's the use of memorizing in that?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is why visual technique for these verses is sometimes necessary. In fact, a lot of verses that I memorize like this are based on visuals only.
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
Maybe not this one because this is just naturally ingrained in us, but for
So
those
meaning like, let's say if you forget them, you think of the memory itself. Like, what does it remind you of?
yes, pretty much. You get it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. The point is, there's a very strong correlation between this and the synonyms, you see. These have to go hand in hand.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So if I were to just, for example, imagine somehow what Sami Prabhu did, was trying to do, Yada Yada, clock, place, which is Kurukshetra, or a holy place of pilgrimage or whatever, Dharmasya, white bull. So clock, Kurukshetra, white bull. Immediately I close my eyes and I say Yada Yada, Dharmasya. Immediately. I'm talking like that, in terms like
Yes,
that.
I
Like
think you
Gnani
should
will
make more examples, Prabhu. It would be much more understandable.
You can make, yeah. So basically, for example, Glanir Bhavati Bharata. Now, the word Glanir sounds like glass, right? So you
Yes,
can, and Glani actually means discrepancy. So what you can technically do is imagine a window that's cracked or has many scratches.
Oh, yes, like a wrecking
So,
ball.
yeah, a glass window that is cracked. You can imagine Glanir. Glass window that is cracked. Bhavati means become manifested. So maybe you can think that a person became, manifested by bursting through the window, and now you can see him.
Oh, yes.
Bharata means India. So, of course, here it means, oh, descendant of Bharat. But just for the sake of memorizing the verse, you can think that it means the land of India. So, someone became manifested, Bhavati, by breaking through a glass window that was already cracked, which means discrepancies. And all this happened in India. Glanir Bhavati Bharata. So, Yada Yada hi Dharmasya, clock Kurukshetra, white bull, Yada Yada hi Dharmasya, and then a window with discrepancies made of glass. Glanir, someone became manifested from it, Bhavati, and this happened in India, Bharata. Yada Yada hi Dharmasya, Glanir Bhavati Bharata.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this is another way of doing it, and that's how I do it usually. That way, not only will you be able to see the verse with visuals, but you will also somewhat get an idea of what each word means.
Yes,
right? You get
Yes,
an idea
Prabhu.
because the synonyms are very important, right? Manu Prabhu himself said that if you know what these synonyms are, then it becomes easier to know the verse. But if you add visuals to each of these synonyms, then it becomes even easier to memorize the verses.
Yes.
You understand?
I understand, Prabhu, clearly.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, everyone has their own capacity for visualization, and different things remind people of different verses and stuff. So you have to come up with your own creative kind of.
I do have one thing. Well, question, because I only was taught how to, let's say, you were speaking about visualization and everything.
Yes, Prabhu.
What is it? Yes, Glanir. You mentioned Glanir. We should imagine it as glass breaking, something like that. But mainly, just like how Virgil Kishore Prabhu taught me, we just only like go directly to the meaning. But I don't know if it would make it more easy, because you're making a visual for a Sanskrit word, uh, to as like a placeholder for memorizing itself, not like the meaning itself.
Yeah, because see, our brain stores information in a very different way. Like our brain is not like a hard drive. You see, everything that is stored in our brain, right? It becomes easier to remember if you add tokens to these memories. Otherwise, it will become difficult to just take in everything as it is. Like if you add labels to everything that you intake, then the brain can actually access the information more easily for you because you're associating a token, a kind of label for each thing, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be for each word individually, but it can be for one particular line or two particular lines at once, like that. That's how our brains usually access information. Because if we go to the token, then it becomes easier to actually access what's in that, box, which is labeled with that token. That's why I
Uh,
suggested visualization.
yes, yes. Because what is it? Another thing I do remember, uh, the understanding comes before the visualization. I mean, it's different for everyone, but like for me, and like if I say over and over again, like this Hare Krishna Maha mantra, I can't visualize anything, but later on, as I'm hearing more and more, like I guess an image will come up by itself, or you'll realize it.
Yeah. Or another thing that I actually used to do, and this actually worked very nicely, that you simply take one BBT painting and put it next to a verse you want to memorize. So when you close your eyes, and so when you memorize this enough times, in association with that particular BBT painting, doesn't matter what the BBT painting is, it really doesn't matter, even if it has nothing to do with this verse. But if you memorize, if you keep looking at this verse and trying to repeat a little bit, while you're also associating it with this particular BBT painting, and then you close your eyes, you'll actually be able to chant it. And this is useful when you're trying to memorize a series of verses together. In fact, that is exactly how I memorized the Sri Shodashabhava Narasingha Ashtakam. You know that video where the big, big lines of,
Yes, yes.
yeah, because that video I had it had a BBT painting associated with each verse, right? Only because of
Yes.
the presence of those paintings was I actually able to memorize. Otherwise, it would have been practically impossible for me.
Prabhu, may I add something?
Yes, Prabhu, please add.
Yeah, I feel like I also somewhat agree with what Manu Prabhu was saying, which is that somewhat the visualizations emerge naturally uh, as you have a better understanding of what the words mean. And I also sort of feel that. So, for example, in the last line of this verse, like Tadatmanam Shrijami Aham, I would immediately, like as I understand this, I would imagine like all the Yuga avatars, and I would, even if they're, let's say, BBT images or paintings of them that I have seen, they will just naturally come into my head. Or, for example, uh, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glani Bhavati Bharata. I would, I would, as I understand this, I would imagine like all the stories about how there was irreligion and how there was discrepancies and how the different yoga avatars came in different circumstances to reestablish religion. And I think, like, yes, maybe in the beginning to actually memorize the verses, some of these more deliberate tricks could work. But I think over time, as also our knowledge and understanding, across different scriptures evolves, we would also have more like a deeper understanding and more complex and in-depth visualization of these things.
Actually, in
Uh,
the future, these things will
so
come naturally, These come naturally as you
yeah,
go on. Then
yeah,
you don't even need the images and visualization. Then it just comes to you naturally. Yeah.
yeah. So I just feel we should be wary about tricks that they don't limit our visualization. So if now every time I see the word glani as a glass, even in other verses, maybe it won't be the most appropriate for every verse. Maybe like in different verses, the way the word glani would be used, maybe in that case you might not want to see a glass, but you might want to see like you know, a a grass of land which is slightly
No,
burnt or
like
yeah.
the meaning itself. Uh, uh, you, I
Yeah,
believe
even here, clearly the meaning itself.
making an image for the pronunciation, uh, it may be good for the pronunciation, but making it a placeholder for memorizing is going to be hard. Well, I can't say for everyone. I'm going to say for myself. For myself, I'm going to say, because I'm not used to this, it's going to be hard to quote by topic. If someone is talking about, okay, how does Krishna come down and everything, and then would that concept of remembering the last kind of hamper my memorization? That's a question I I, I would ask. Glani Bhavati Bharata, like you think of glass instead of like the meaning of the word. So is
Yeah.
that proper? Is that a proper way to like see it, or might just
See, like I said, it doesn't work with all words, but with some words, for example, when I said glane, right? Glanihi means what? Discrepancies. So just to memorize what glanihi itself means, you can imagine a glass window which has cracks or scratches. And these are some discrepancies, right? So in that way, you can understand that glanir, you can replace this with a glass window that has scratches or cracks, which also give you not only a visual field for the word lanir, but at the same time, it also gives you a glimpse of what it could mean, right? I'm just saying for those that are visually oriented, it's not like for everyone. Of course, those who find it easier to just memorize them as it is, then yes, that's a different thing.
okay, that
Get it? It's not just
yeah.
glass. It's not that like I'm talking about connecting it with the synonyms. You understand?
Karti Prabhu is here.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Karti Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, so Shivran Prabhu.
Prabhu, Tanda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Shivansh Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Prabhupada.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Piyush, please accept my humble
Bro,
obeisances. All
so what's
glories
on
to
the
Prabhupada.
agenda, bro?
Literally nothing except Q&A, I think.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna, Lavi, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, you joined.
Was here like 25 minutes ago, and he said he will join soon.
Yeah.
From Australia or other devotees, so he has to be with them.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Prahlad Prabhu, right? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Wait. You said he's in Australia? Am I hearing that correctly?
No, Prabhu.
But I heard from Australia. Is that like another context?
The devotees from Australia are at Pondicherry.
Oh, okay.
So you get the idea, right, with the word glaner. It's not merely
Yeah.
just glass, it's just glass that is cracked or scratched, which represents that there are discrepancies. And obviously the word glanihi means discrepancies. That's what I meant. I didn't mean just something. Something that can connect to the actual meaning of the word. And everyone has, yeah, Pranjal Prabhu was saying. I think he said it a while back, maybe 8 minutes ago. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. It's just what is it? One day we all have to, step up to the plate, and the way that our seniors preach, they're wow, they connect everything just by knowing the meaning of the word. Of course, they may like have a realization, have like a visualization, but like the understanding come for them. It just came up first.
Yes, that is true, Prabhu. That is also true. Facts. That is also true.
Because my problem, I would like to share my problem with my references that I make during classes. I would form a scheme or an idea that I want to convey in a class, and a verse that sort of fits, I'll make it fit. So that's my fault, my problem with quoting sloka. Like, for example, someone dies, and then I could quote maybe 220 or 222, right? But I quote 214. Oh, you have to just tolerate. What does that even mean? So, like, okay, it's someone dying that may be painful, but that does not directly speak to the subject of death. Like, you have to tolerate death. What does that mean? When I die, like, where's the meaning of tolerance? So that's my problem. Like, I want to go in depth in, like, not only as we are doing, like memorizing slokas and each in the meaning of the words, but you know of course how to use it, but when to use it also, like, that without any motive. I'm using all these quotes with motive.
Mm. That's true.
You want to know something funny? You know this verse, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini. That one, where it says that
Yes, true. Aware.
the learned Brahman with equal vision sees this, and that, right? So something funny, I'll tell you. The way I memorized that verse was very, very interesting. I didn't use visuals for the entire verse. I only used visuals for the order in which these beings appeared. You understand? So, for example, the verse says that the first example in that verse is a learned and gentle Brahmana. So, what I did was I literally just pictured a red colored barn in a farm, in a farmland. And in front of that barn was a learned and gentle Brahmana stroking a cow. That's appearance number two. And then if you go slightly behind on the side, like if you go to the side of the barn, a little bit behind, you will see an elephant playing with a dog. And in the distance, there is a person who likes to eat dogs, who is about to kill the dog that is here, because he's a dog eater, right? So just the way to memorize the order of appearance. So learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying my main point is
Yeah.
the visualization technique works for you. But main
Yes.
point is, for those that are visual, they can use visual, they can take advantage of visualization. That is what I'm saying. Yeah, the humble sages by virtue of true knowledge see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater.
Yeah, I memorized it the same way. I memorized it by the picture. I would remove the elephant and then the learned Brahmana, the dog eater. Via the picture, I memorized it. But if
Yeah,
the picture was not there in my head, then I would have a very difficult time to recollect the English translation.
yeah. So visualization is very, very strong when it comes to memorizing both the Sanskrit and the translation also. Actually, it works with the Sanskrit as well. You know?
Yeah.
I'm also wondering how do you actually now memorize the verse itself? In the sense, like, okay, I guess now if you look at a verse, you would be able to understand its meaning better. But now, want to, if you have an idea that you want to convey, and you're like, there must be a verse for that, and you have probably three or four such verses in your head, maybe not in Sanskrit, maybe you have like the translation in your head. How do you then memorize it? Because sometimes, I mean, I would go backwards, like I would remember the translation in my head, and then I would try and remember what was, the first line of the verse, and then try and like reconstruct it back from the meaning that I have in my head. Um, but yeah, I'm wondering if you all have better kind of strategies
You know
for
what
actually
I noticed with
memorizing the.
myself? Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I noticed with myself was um, I would just repeat the verse, the Sanskrit verse itself a few times, and I would focus more on the translation. And as I understood the translation more and more, right, as I gained a more visual perception of the translation, and as I kept repeating the translation, automatically the Sanskrit words became evident as to what they really meant, each individually. individually you would understand. For example, I was memorizing this. In fact, this verse is very tricky for me to memorize, but with visualization and a bit of repetition of the translation, I actually gained a better understanding of each word in the actual Sanskrit. So, for example, I'll tell you, Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha Yajnad bhavati parjanyo yajnah karma samudbhava. Okay, so that verse, if you see, if you now just read the translation of it, because initially you won't really know what every single word in the Sanskrit verse means. But if you read the translation, all living bodies subsist on food grains which are born from, which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is born out of prescribed duties. Now, if I keep repeating this translation a few times in my head, slowly but surely you will come to realize the meaning of each individual word in the Sanskrit. So the first line is Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. Annad means grains. Then Bhavanti means to grow. Bhutani. So Annad Bhavanti Bhutani means all living bodies subsist on food grains. Then Parjanyad Anna Sambhavaha. Then due to rains, Parjanyad, it is possible for Anna, grains, to grow. Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. Sambhava means it's possible. Right? You understand what I'm saying? The mind will automatically make subtle connections with the English translation and the Sanskrit words in the verse. It kind of happens naturally. And then when you start getting into the synonyms, then it's easier to memorize the verse and then keep it within the memory. That's how I did it.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. And do you
Yeah.
remember do you first remember, like when you want to convey the concept, does the Sanskrit verse first pop up in your head? Like the one you studied and memorized over time? Or
No, it's
does
always a
meaning
translation
in
for me.
English?
Always a
Okay, you do the
translation.
translation and then you kind of piece back the verse in your head based on your
Yeah.
visualization or
Yeah.
your, yeah.
Yeah, because what happens is the first thing that comes to my mind, because when people ask me a question, like the first thing that comes up is a translation. And after the translation comes a visualization. And from that visualization, I get an idea of what the Sanskrit words could actually be. Right? Because I've already have experience by repeating many Sanskrit verses many times. So it's also about repetition. And people usually think that repetition is not a good way. It actually is it's also a very important method when you want to memorize something. Repetition is still important, you see. It may not be as effective as many other methods as visualization and stuff, but it's still very important. May not be as important, but it's still important. Spaced repetition, especially, will give you a good idea. It's just a matter of investing the time in it. Because
Yeah,
everyone is
repetition is
different.
very important also. You can't just focus on everything else and avoid repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition is age old tradition, but it should not be like overdone, like 1,000 times repeat the same verse. But definitely, if you repeat the same verse 15, 20, 25 times over a period of a week or two, it'll be very effective.
Yeah, I think, and I'm pretty sure this is the case with most Indians. Whenever they think about the Yada Yada Dharmasya verse, I am very sure that the first visual that comes up is that B.R. Chopra's poor quality of Krishna speaking to Arjun picture with a bunch of cast
Yes.
members on it, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, that is the first visual that comes up. In fact, the very tune, that very tune itself comes in the mind first. I can guarantee you, for most Indians who have actually watched the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's a fact.
So
So
Prabhu, are they,
it
sorry.
sounds like to me that, like, again, like you were saying, there are different types of learners, memorizers. They see by visual, by auditory, and by yeah. So like
Yes.
that. Uh, so it sounds like to me in India, most everyone who was like very intelligent above the sudras, they were visual. Is that correct?
Yeah, mostly visual and auditory. Yes. Like my point is, you can figure out what makes you memorize something the best. Is it visually or auditory? And based on whether or not it is visual or auditory, or even analytically, people just actually find it better to just memorize the words of the verse in order as it is, right? Without any visual or auditory help. But once you figure out what works for you best, couple that method with repetition. If you couple that method, which you find easier to memorize, with repetition, then you will very easily be able to chant the verses without looking at them. It just depends on what works for you. If, for example, if pictures work for you, couple that with repetition. And then you will slowly be able to chant it without looking. And it's definitely much faster than, just reading if you're a visual person or auditory person for that matter.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to use all this for the Mondays and Tuesday class.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, you were supposed to be my co-teacher.
In what, Prabhu?
No, Monday and Tuesday, huh? We were
Oh,
talking.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The weekly Sangha. Yes.
So actually, you're already doing it. So why not? I think this is all right.
Yes, Prabhu. Of course, every Monday and Tuesday I'm free.
Actually, those sort of questions, you kind of shrug it off. That was very, very nice. You gave proper answers to them. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm glad I could be of any service, Prabhu. It's all by the mercy of the seniors. In fact, I even told Karthi Prabhu also. I'll actually just show you what I told him. And this is very important to understand, Because see, you know how I memorize verses? Really, it's not always visualization. Visualization is like a secondary thing. It just pops up, all the visuals and stuff. But when I look at a verse, right, when I only repeat a verse 2 or 3 times, it sticks forever. Just 2 or 3 times. Why? Because I have developed a taste for chanting. Not the Maha Mantra itself, but at least verses. I don't have a taste for chanting Hare Krishna, unfortunately, not even a little bit. But at least with, scripture, when I'm chanting these verses, I somehow feel great pleasure. Why? Because when I first began my journey in Krishna consciousness, I began by reading Prabhupada's books. And that initial days when I began reading the introduction, right, it was giving me this kind of high. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a physical high. It's a just, assume that the intelligence can also feel a high of some kind, So that high is what allows me to just absorb these verses as they are, just by repeating once or twice with the rhythm. Because I actually enjoy chanting verses from Shastra. So if that enjoyment is there for you when you're memorizing verses, then it becomes 90% easier. In fact, 90% of your job becomes easier if you have a taste for it. Simply because you have a taste for it, memorizing will be easier. You don't even have to try memorizing. It just sticks naturally because you are born with that kind of, gift. And even if you're not, you can develop a taste and it'll be just as good. So how to develop a taste? You have to be very enthusiastic, right? You have to really, sing these verses like you're singing a song. Like how many people in the material world, they listen to so many material songs and they can recite all these mundane lyrics word for word. Why? Because they like it. That's the only reason they find it easy to memorize mundane lyrics of mundane songs. So similarly, if we develop the enthusiasm, if we develop the taste, the enjoyment spirit for, chanting these shlokas, then it becomes very, very, very easy. Just like the mundane person, just like that. And how do you get that taste exactly? So I told Karthi Prabhu, a short while back. Where is it? Yeah, let me go here. Yeah, so basically, in the beginning, I told, I think, many devotees also in His Grace Naimanitay Prabhu. I don't know if you remember that last year in March, right? So someone asked a message in the Telegram group, and I answered, right? Now, although my answer was factually correct, I didn't quote Prabhupada. So he chastised it. So this is a response from His Grace Naimanitay Prabhu to my attempt at answering a question without quoting from Prabhupada. Nimadhya Prabhu said, better quote from Srila Prabhupada. Better quote from Srila Prabhupada. And again, even recently, when a devotee in the group wrote a long message wherein everything was factually correct, in response to another devotee, His Grace Nimadhya Prabhu again pointed out the same fault in these words, that better attend the ongoing Q&A session than to reply without quoting from Prabhupada's books. So even if what we are speaking is factually correct, if we don't quote Prabhupada, there's not much substance, right? So when Prabhu chastised me like this of once or twice, right, I took that as a kind of blessing. You see, that chastisement kind of acted as a blessing upon me. It was kind of like a benediction that now, okay, I let you quote like I do, in a way. So when you gain the blessings of the seniors, you become empowered to do something particular. For example, quoting verses that serve as crystal clear, direct answers to any question that is asked. And I feel like that is what happened with me, because I wasn't able to do this before. I wasn't able to give you direct quotes just like this, verse after verse after verse. It only happened by the grace of the seniors. And they are actually potent to bestow certain benedictions upon us, because they are very, very exalted seniors. His Grace Namanita Prabhu, His Grace Tatwal Prabhu, and all of them trained under the expert guidance of His Grace Sundar Prabhu. So if you have the mercy of the seniors, then you can actually get the enthusiasm. Then you get the, potency, the power to be able to memorize these verses and then quote them to people and then preach to them in that way, So to gain their mercy is very, very important. It's perhaps the number one thing. So how can I quote so well all these things and answer so many questions? Why? Because it's all due to His Grace Nimadhya Prabhu. Have you seen how good His Grace Nimadhya Prabhu is in quoting? How many of you know? You've seen him quote, right? So many times, so many things. Look at the Ritvik as it is video. How much he quoted so perfectly and crystal clear.
Yes, but on top of the slokas, he was quoting quotes from Prabhupada. That's another thing to work on.
Yes, that's something I don't know yet how to do. I can only try to find it on Veda base. It works mostly with translations and stuff for me. But that's why I'm saying, when he benedicted me of some sort in some way, because through that chastisement, he didn't give me obviously that full thing. But I'm telling you, the main point is, if you gain their mercy and their blessings, who's Pranjal Prabhu? Yes, always write what you hear. Begin by actively listening and document the key points. Yes, make notes. Swadhyay, self-study. Systematically compile your notes for deeper understanding. Yes. Speak your chapter aloud. Practice Parayan, recitation in two ways. Ucharan, loudly articulate the material to engage auditory learning. Yes. And Path means repetitive recitation using sequences, 1.2.1 pattern or 1-to-1 pattern, or create your own flow. Share what you learned, teach others, discuss with peers, or even talk to walls. Verbalizing reinforces intention. In fact, this is what I usually do. When I want to learn something, I pretend to be a professor where I'm sitting as if there's some audience and I'm trying to teach them. So when you try to teach others, that knowledge becomes more and more reinforced within you. You gain more understanding of that topic when you try to teach others, when you discuss with others. Because there's kind of expansion going on. You see, Tantra means expansion. So when you perform Tantra in this way, when you are discussing, and just like cotton, you see, cotton, if you stretch, it becomes more and more, looks like it's getting more in quantity, right? But if you put it in a ball, it's very less, as if there's nothing there. So Tantra means to expand. And when you discuss with others, especially when you're memorizing verses, it becomes more and more clear. The meaning and, the way you chant and everything, because you're moving your lips and you're practicing how to pronounce, all that becomes better. Yeah, so share what you've learned. That's actually one of the most important points. And then take the blessings by helping others. Yes. Blessings of the seniors is actually number one thing. Without the blessings, we can't do anything. We want to be able to memorize and keep in our mind many tens of verses. But how is that possible without their blessings? How is that possible without their blessings? And Pranjal Prabhu says auditory way is the way he learns, this sequence moves from active listening to structured note taking to vocal reinforcement, parayan, sharing knowledge, and concluding with service to others. So yeah, whenever you want to memorize a verse, discuss as much about the verse as possible. Then the verse automatically sticks, and then gradually you start gaining a taste. Personally, I just find memorizing verses and chanting verses from different scriptures as an experience of enjoyment. It's not something I have to do it. I'm just very thankful that I've gotten this taste, and I'm saying that if you have this taste also, by the blessings of the seniors, it will be very easy for you as well. And it's not that difficult to take the blessings of the seniors. Just pray to them, just keep praising them, just keep praising them. In fact, the more you praise them, either in or in absence, in their presence or in their absence, then the blessings will automatically flow, and then you will actually see the change. Because Shiksha Guru is also Guru, right? They are also bona fide spiritual masters, is it not? They are the Madhyama Adhikari, the by a medium. So if we seek their blessings, then everything becomes easy. I don't want to talk too much. Please, someone say something.
All glory to the Vishnu.
Prabhu. You just keep praising the seniors, okay? Don't praise me. You are doing what I specifically asked you not to. Don't praise me. Praise
You
the
are a
seniors.
very big senior, Prabhu.
I'm not a senior.
How you can not be praised?
I don't have the qualities to speak of in me, Prabhu. In fact, I take it as an insult. You please.
Okay.
I
Already
just
he jumps to the
appreciate.
Shastra. You see, this is a sign of a very highly
No,
advanced
no, this is a show, Prabhu. This is a
devotee.
show.
He sees
In my
everything
heart,
through
I'm saying,
Shastra.
yes, please give me the praise. In my heart, I'm saying, yes, please give me the praise. And then here I'm telling you, I'm trying my best to tell you this, don't do it. My point is, if you praise the actual seniors, like His Grace Nimanita Prabhu, I'm not even initiated. I cannot be such a very exalted person. But if you praise the seniors, His Grace Nimanita Prabhu, His Grace Prahlad Prabhu, all the Shiksha Gurus of ISKM, and over and above all, His Grace Sundar Prabhu, then you will really see the blessings flow. And then you will see how much taste you're getting. So I'm giving you a trick how to gain all the taste. That is to just keep glorifying the seniors in their presence or in their absence. You will be glorifying them. Yeah, Pranjal Prabhu makes a point. Yeah. Actually, yeah, like if you learn some concept and then if I share the concept with other who are noobs, so help figure it out. Yeah. So when they have questions and you are able to answer their questions about whatever topic it is you yourself want to be good about, then both of you will learn and will strengthen your knowledge. This is why discussion amongst the devotees is very important. When you're discussing any spiritual topic, do it in the association of devotees. And it becomes very easy to memorize all these verses, like that.
In fact, if I'm not wrong, Shastra also says the same thing. In fact, one must actually realize his knowledge we are preaching. Of course, I just give, if I'm not wrong, colloquially out of habit, but I know I'm not wrong because I read it. That only when you preach, you will actually be able to realize what you've actually learned. Because what is much more important than, just knowing the verses, knowing the Shastra and everything is actually practical realization. Because when you practically realize, then actually you become much more serious and advanced in Krishna consciousness. And in whichever situation persons come to you, you will be able to preach to them properly. Just because one knows the verses doesn't mean he or she can preach. Because to preach means you see if the person around you or the person whom you're speaking with, he's able to take the chastisement, he's able to take the hard verses, or you see that he's not so much humble and he has to be instructed in a different way. So all of this is required. So the truth must be spoken in a very palatable way, and that requires a lot of realization. So yeah, that comes by time. So the whole motive of learning the slokas and the translations, as well as the pictures, the pages of the pictures, etc., to show people while preaching. Yeah, this is very nice, very important. But the main thing is the realization, because Krishna consciousness means realization. A devotee means one who's realized, right? So the realization takes time. So and the realization can take place when one sincerely tries in his best capability to please the spiritual master Srila Prabhupada.
through his representatives. So yeah, that's about it.
Prabhu, you make a good point. Like, in fact, when we become much more realized, in all the verses that we are trying to memorize, like when we realize their true purports, then it becomes even easier to have them stick in our minds, So yes, you make a very
Yes.
good point. It's very
Then it
important.
becomes all Prabhu's quoting, Prabhu's quoting. Whatever he's saying or whatever they say is already from Shastra. For us, we need to actually double check, triple check, All right, have I heard it? Okay, I heard it from this purpose. All right, I've heard it from the senior devotees. Now launch, like that. But when the senior devotees speak, whatever they say on any topic is automatically from Shastra. You see? So, of course, that takes a lot of time. It requires a lot of mercy and a lot of sincerity. And then one gets this. But that's the point. Actually, the knowledge does not come from Srila Prabhupada's book. Because the books are very important. It's our spiritual master's order. We must fulfill it. But the knowledge is Divya Gyan Trede Prakashita. So the knowledge comes from within the heart. So you might see some devotees who are maybe not very literate, but who are serving in the temple for a very, very long time with determination, despite their health issue or despite their lots of health problems and ailing age. You see, they might not know the philosophy much, but they're still determined to serve the Lord, despite all material circumstances. But then you might also see somebody who knows the philosophy decently well, or at least the basics, and then he leaves the association. So the point is Vivekyan Vivek Prakashita. That's why we sing right in Guru Puja every day. So this is the point. And the reason why we chant, the reason why we read Prabhupada books is because by following the order of Srila Prabhupada, we get purified. And when we are sufficiently following the orders of Prabhupada, then he sees, okay, if this person is trying or he's following my instructions, then Prabhupada gives us the mercy, and then we'll be able to see. So this is the main point, We are not trying to become big scholars or big persons who know thousands of verses, this Upanishad, that Upanishad, this Purana. No. We're just trying to follow the orders of the spiritual master. And when you do this, then you realize everything. You realize the import of all the Vedas, and you'll be able to impart this knowledge onto others. So until that, we are just in a stage of trying to follow the orders of the spiritual master. Like, for example, when you're preaching, we preach because Prabhupada told us to preach, not necessarily because to make the other person a devotee. Whether he becomes a devotee or not, that is none of my business actually. I preach because Prabhupada told me to preach. And if the other person, he tries to take a book or he joins the group or he chants or not, that's up to him, That's up to Krishna actually. But the point is, by me preaching, it's a endeavor to please my own spiritual master. That's about it. But that is the point, So we are doing all of this just so that we can actually satisfy our spiritual master, thereby get the knowledge, so that we can actually see things clearly in spiritual life, and come out of the platform of duality, wherein one can always fall from Krishna consciousness, This is just the essence actually. See.
Yes, Prabhu. One more thing, though, I just want to quickly add this before moving on to the next thing. When you said that we should preach simply because Prabhupada has told us to, yes, that is a fact. But believe it or not, that should actually be secondary. Yes, Prabhupada asks us to preach, no doubt. And that is actually our duty. So, but even though it is our duty, we should try to preach simply because we are actually enthusiastic about preaching. Because you know what real preaching is? Real preaching is when you read Prabhupada's books and you actually find them fascinating. And you find them so fascinating that you actually want to just share this bliss with others. That is when real preaching is, that is what real preaching is. Yeah, okay, I can preach simply because Prabhupada told me to. Yes, of course, that's our
Hare
duty.
Krishna Prabhupada Prabhu.
Hare Krishna
That was
Prabhupada,
from Vishnu
Pranam, all
Prabhupada.
goes to Prabhupada.
Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
So when we preach, we have to be enthusiastic about
Hare
preaching.
Krishna, the Lord Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. Yes, carry on, carry on.
So when we preach, we have to really be enthusiastic. We have to be excited when we go to people, approach people, and then tell them, look, this is, a treasure mine of bliss. Please take it. Give us some donation. You'll be benefited. And, you'll get a book. And then you will also get this bliss.
I heard one devotee saying once, I'm not sure exactly who, but they said that preaching is the leftovers of the spiritual ecstasy from the devotee. So it's like when milk is boiling and it brims to the top, and then there's milk like spilling out. That is preaching from the devotional ecstasy.
But the point is that to have that enthusiasm and to preach out of compassion is a different level, Not everybody preaches, like you say, right, out of compassion. That is
Yeah,
a very advanced platform.
of course,
So
compassion is
unless one
different
is in
because,
that level,
yeah.
he cannot do so. Then he must just do it as a matter of following the orders of the spiritual master.
Yeah, but I'm saying
So
that, of course, compassion is on a different level. I wasn't talking about compassion. Of course, that's very, very high level. But I'm talking about enthusiasm because many people do also preach simply because they're enthusiastic about preaching, right? Because they find it very nice, and they just want to give this to others, you know.
yeah, the
Like
enthusiasm
that.
is this, no? And the enthusiasm is that all right, I read Prabhupada books, I find it very valuable. Now let me go help others. You see?
Yeah.
That is enthusiasm. But sometimes, I mean, some rascals like me don't even have that. So I just do it for a selfish thing. So yeah, I mean, definitely that's the point. But even if you don't feel like doing so, you still must do it for one's own spiritual growth. That's what I meant. Because
Yes, Prabhu.
generally, unless one is very advanced, he can't have this spirit of oh wow, I'm going to give you the book, make your life success. Oh, yes, yeah, maybe initial enthusiasm, maybe a little bit, but to sustain, it's not always that way. I am really helping you, not that tendency, but rather by doing this, I'm getting the mercy of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is pleased. But either way, preaching is preaching, so that's the point. That's what I was trying to make.
Yes, Prabhu. Great point. We can move on to the next thing then, if there are no other comments about this.
Well, what about the instance where was it the child? She went up to a person. She asked the person, "Do you know who Krishna is?" And then the person's like, "Oh, well, I don't know who Krishna is." And then she's like, "No, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead." And Prabhupada was like, "Just see." So, what would you say on her situation? Is she a Majjhima, or is she a fired up Kanishta, or how should we see this situation?
I don't have the eyes to see anything, Prabhu. Only Prabhupada would know what the situation of that devotee is, what the position of that devotee is. I mean, yes, as long as they are, enthusiastic about, preaching and everything, and they're doing it nicely, then it's okay. I mean, they can continue. But for me to judge what that position is, I can't really. It's not for me. Okay, Dharani Prabhu shared something. CC Antya 4.102. Regarding preaching Prabhus, okay. Some behave very well, but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. So yeah, so this is also indicative of how sometimes we may not be on that platform of following all the rules and regulations flawlessly, but at least even if we have some flaws, but if we have the enthusiasm to preach, then Prabhupada will still be pleased, and with that Prabhupada being pleased, he will also bless us with the strength to follow more and more rules and regulations. So yes, it's a fact that some people behave very well, but just don't preach the cult of Krishna consciousness. And that's actually not of any big substance. Yeah, okay, you can behave very well, but if you're not preaching, of course, Uttamadhikari is different because Uttamadhikari sees that I don't have to preach. Everybody is everybody is a pure devotee. Mahabhagavad doesn't need that. But that is an exception, of course. But I'm talking amongst all the conditioned souls at least. And Karti Prabhu says by preaching one becomes perfect. Of course, one must not take advantage of this and break the principles of Krishna consciousness whimsically. Yes, that's also a fact. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for adding that. Anything else, Manu Prabhu? Or maybe another person who wants to add something? Piyush.
I mean, it's not so good to speak when Prabhu is here. So anybody has any questions, we can relay them to Prabhu and Prabhu can help them.
Yeah, of course. For anyone who has
No,
any
no,
questions,
you carry on. It's nice. Carry on, carry on. It's okay. Continue. It's nice.
I think I've broken etiquette actually. Please forgive me, Prabhu.
No,
I
no,
got
it's
carried
okay. Good. No, no,
away
it's
from the
good. Carry
occasion.
on. It's good. Good to hear. But I think see, there's the that verse is not complete, Dharani Prabhu
Yes,
quoted.
Prabhu. Yeah. The next verse says both should do.
Yes.
Yeah. Both behave and speak.
That's,
I remember that.
it is Antya.
4.102 Prabhu.
It's about Raghunath Goswami, is it? It's about who? Uh, Sanatha Haridas Thakur. Yeah, Haridas Thakur. That also you can copy paste. Ram, 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 Vishnu, Vishnu. Ram, 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 Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. Ram, Ram, Ram,
You
Ram.
simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world.
It's about Haridas Thakur. No, it's carry on. You want to discuss. It's very nice to hear that. I'm also chanting. You just carry on.
So when it comes to making references, as I pointed out, my own fault when I make references when I'm giving a class, I tend to make verses fit into an idea that I want to convey. But the verse, they themselves are not, for that topic. But out of laziness, I kind of force it in there. So what is the difference between doing that, manipulating the verses to fit your own, agenda, or I guess, what you're trying to say, and just actually using a proper verse, in the proper way.
So, as far as I know about it, at least from what I've experienced and seen on TV and on news channels and whatever else is going on in the world, that sometimes people from different religions they quote verses and fit these verses in particular ideas to push forward their own agenda. But it should be the other way around, where the verse itself, right? So the idea itself has to match the verse, not that the verse has to match the idea or fit into the idea. The opposite is to be done. When a verse says something, and to find an idea that the verse perfectly describes, that can be used. But if it's the other way around, when idea tries to describe a verse, it's not going to work because ideas are faulty by themselves, right? But if you try to find an idea that can be conveyed by a verse perfectly, then that is all right. As far as my knowledge goes, I don't know if this is
Yes.
correct. I'm
One
speaking.
is actually following Guru. Other one is using Guru. It's a two different thing. So we have to understand what the spiritual master wants, and then we have to preach accordingly. It's not that we find some verse from somewhere and then, for example, I asked one of the devotees who left ISKM and joined HKM to ask to Sanchilapati Prabhu that why they are making the Srinivas Govinda worship in HKM. And then they told that Prabhupada, when he came to Tirupati temple, he said that we should have a temple like this. So we're having a temple like this, putting Srinivas Govinda inside, chanting Suprapadam. What is he? But that is not what Prabhupada meant. Prabhupada meant we should have a beautiful temple like this, nicely organized, and nice deity worship is going on. Many people are coming, taking advantage. So we should have a temple like this. That's what Prabhupada meant. But they are using it for justifying their own thing. And same thing about the skyscraper building in Vrindavan. Also the same thing. They say that Prabhupada wanted skyscraper building. But another place Prabhupada said that we should have a beautiful Vrindavan must be full of, like the lawns and gardens, So it is actually there is a difference between using Prabhupada and then following Prabhupada. So that is why you need to have a clear understanding of the Shastra. Hmm. Yeah, you cannot do that. You cannot find some random verse from here and there, and then you have to understand what Prabhupada wanted. Same thing, ISKCON people they say that, oh, Prabhupada wanted everybody to become guru. 1965, there is a code. 66, there is a code. But 1977, Prabhupada said that none of you are qualified for Ritvik system. You see? So Prabhupada say another place that whatever I should have told so many things. Don't tell me that, oh Prabhupada, that time you said like that, now you're telling like this. You have to you follow what I'm telling you now. Whatever I'm telling you now, you do that. Don't tell me I told you like this before. So we have to know the context, we have to understand why Prabhupada is saying like that. Sometimes it also differs upon to whom Prabhupada says. Right? I may be telling different idea for Aditya. I will tell different for Luvish and different for Sham Govind Prabhu and different for, Manu Prabhu, different thing for different person. It also, the instruction also varies for person to person. And in fifth canto or fifth canto, where about the Harivamsa, where people, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all his residents, when they are verifying Lakshma, there is a specific verse, and they mention the verse saying that, this was everybody should chant this mantra. Prabhupada write it there in the purport. Every devotee must chant this mantra to, come out of, something, auspicious. I don't remember exactly what is that. So I asked Prabhu, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, see, Prabhupada says this verse, Prabhu, can we chant this every day? And Prabhupada said, no, this is actually general instruction, but especially Prabhupada, what he told you, you follow that. Prabhupada given in Namaste Narshima Prahlad Radhamai. So that is actually for general public, For general public, yeah, this mantra is good. But Prabhupada should directly with the document, should tell you, okay, the system, you follow this. So that requires some experience, to understand the context. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like you're using Prabhupada to match your own agenda. That is not preaching.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
So this is basically quoting is just a form of surrender.
Quoting is just a form of not surrender. Quoting is to validate it. Quoting is validation. That's it. Understand? So when you say something and then you quote, it is validated. It's just, this means that you are not talking some nonsense. When I say something, when I quote something, it means I'm validating. But it is not always required that you must always quote. By quoting, you don't become a great preacher. Yeah. It's not that if you quote some 50 slokas, 100 slokas, you become a big preacher. No, not like that. No. Not really. When you see Prabhupada, when you see Prabhupada classes, he doesn't quote much. He doesn't quote much. He speaks logic. Yes. Prabhupada classes are not like 100 slokas and 500 slokas. No, not like that. Prabhupada give only basic things. But Prabhupada, when you hear Prabhupada class, that makes sense. Sometimes it's so boring to hear so many quotes. Nothing will go to your head, especially in your fight. Why I created this group, this Istagoshti?
Yes, Prabhu.
Because in 2019, those time, this preaching of ISKM has started. And Tattvik Prabhu and then Nimai Prabhu, Sundar Gopal, they started giving online classes. And then I found that all our boys are becoming puffed up and they're becoming useless by learning all this theory. They are simply becoming puffed up by quoting some 4 or 5 words and here and there. And then most of them are becoming like a prostitutes, like not surrendering to any temple. They just think that I know everything, like a prostitute who doesn't surrender to any one husband, right? She has so many husbands, Similarly, by hearing online classes, and then they were all becoming like prostitutes, thinking that, oh, I know everything, I don't need a temple. I can just online class, I can do something. So they are all. So then I thought, wow, this is dangerous. Then only I called some of those devotees that time, and then I told them to start this group. I said that every week there should be Istagoshti, and all the devotees should be sent to Pondicherry temple, and then take instruction. So then after I started that, oh, then there is a good progress. Devotees are surrendering, and then they're getting initiated, and then so all those things, it was happening. So this is how it should work. So not just by quoting slokas, you don't become big preacher. In fact, it is the other way. Initial stage, you should learn how to shut your mouth. That is a proper training. But unfortunately, in ISKM, all our temples, we are actually just struggling to start preaching now. So initially, for 1 year, all of you should simply sweep the floor and mop the floor and clean the toilet and clean the kitchen. That is how learn how to be humble, learn how to serve the senior devotees, and then how to carry the bags for them, and then go around with them. That is the proper way. Then you start preaching, all those things. Initially, if you do all these things, then you get puffed up. But of course, in ISKM, there's no other way. We are starting something now. So we have to do, even Prabhupada gives sannyas also. Because there's no other option. So fast, Prabhupada gives sannyas. 1 year, 2 year, Prabhupada even gave sannyas. Prabhupada said that I know most of you will fall down, but I have no other option. I have what to go. I have a battle to face. So when I have a battling, and I choose every third man to become, like a commander in chief. So like that, we are doing. So we have to learn to serve. That's the most important thing. Preach means just, preach the philosophy. Of course, you quote. If you know the slokas, you quote. But don't, no need to quote so many slokas. Just quote few slokas and make sure that the recipient understand the philosophy properly. Then, then the preaching works. Otherwise, it won't work. It'll become
Prabhu,
failure.
I have a question. I have a question on this, Prabhu. Like, for
Yeah.
example, sometimes when we preach to different kinds of persons, not everybody is able to take the Shastra, right? Like, for example, when you're preaching also to different people, different way you preach. So I was also like, of course, it's just my little bit experience that I found that rather than like preaching the philosophy so much directly, just by maybe saying little bit here and there about the philosophy, of course, the philosophy being the center, but if I just try to offer whomever is coming, or maybe some of my friends, like my friendship genuinely, and then tell them about something which are like sentimentally like kind of valuing, like go Mata protection, and then reading Bhagavad
That
Gita, and also
that
like
that
Annadanam.
that works for donors. That works
Mm.
for donors. That works actually. This is actually like, if there is a donor, and then like a well-wisher. You're trying to make a well-wishers and donors, and that time you do that. You just tell them what they like, and then engage them in Krishna service. Take the money from them, takes their time from them, make them as a volunteer. Like that, you do that. But if you
Mm.
want to preach, you have to give the philosophy. But it's not required that you should give the full philosophy for them. Give what is possible for them. Let's say Prabhupada, when he's talking to that French cardinal, Prabhupada said that, yeah, if you want to eat, you eat goat. Don't eat the cow, Prabhupada says. You saw that? You remember
Yes,
the
Prabhu. Yeah,
conversation?
yeah.
Prabhupada say,
The
why don't
French
you eat
person
goat? Why
remember.
don't you eat buffaloes? Right? Prabhupada say, why don't you eat
Yes.
buffaloes and goats? Why you want to eat cows? Understand? So that is his level. So you have to understand his level, and then if you tell them that no onion, no garlic, then you'll run away. For cow only, this rascal cannot
Yes,
give up.
Prabhu.
Just see that if you think that if I don't kill cow, then whole family will die. You think like that. All his children will die. I am cutting and giving my kids. What's wrong in that? They speak like that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So
Yes.
preaching means you have to understand the pulse of other person and preach. First thing is actually goodwill. That person should have trust in you. Okay, Karthi says something that will be good for me. You have to create that first. Okay, this Karthi, yeah, whatever he speaks is going to help me. And then you give philosophy little by little by little. Then he can take it.
Mm.
If you're going to give the whole philosophy in one day, it's not going to work that way. They'll run away. They will not come next
Prabhu, actually, you remember this person, this lawyer studying person from Delhi. His name is Karthik. He sent me the contact, right?
time. Yeah.
So, of course, I was just preaching to him generally. I was preaching to him in a nice way, in a friendly way. I was not pushing too much or whatever. But then, Prabhu, I was kind of cornered, Prabhu, because, of course, he's friendly and all. But, when he's asking questions like, Prabhu, I want to watch Amrendra Prabhu, I'm following Prabhupada, I accept Ritu system, but I want to follow Amrendra Prabhu. I have to follow this person, this person. Even though he's Radhanath Swami disciple, I need to follow him. Then, I'm left in a position where, okay, he's saying I want to follow the Ritu system. Then I know no other way than to convince him logically. So I tried my best to convince him logically. Like I told him, you see, Prabhu, just like your father, would you like you to go and associate with somebody who is offending him? So even though you may say this person has many good qualities or he has many bad qualities, I'm not asking about that. But would your father like for you to go and associate with somebody who is, who has insulted him previously and is continuing to insult him and associate with him? Then like that, I was kind of convincing. Then still he was very emotionally attached. So I just knew that, if he continues to do this, right, then I don't think he'll make any much advancement because just by listening to those who are offending Prabhupada, he is also taking actually the offense. So I just shared the slokas and then I shared the verses also to show that if one deviates, then he's useless, and also about the fact that these people, they're knowingly taking part in this, offense. So he has to also take place part of the offense, and also the verse that says that if you enter an assembly of people doing rascaldom and you don't leave or you don't speak against, then you have to take part of the sin. And but still, he was quite. Of course, he was not like offensive or he was not like angry or something, but he was unable to do that emotional kind of whatever bond he has with them, like Amrendra Prabhu. And he was also telling Prabhu, honestly, to be very frank, I don't find, like from an emotional point of view, he was saying, Prabhu, whatever that bhava that Amrendra Prabhu is, sharing in his lectures, I don't find it in my skin. Then I said, Prabhu, none of us are qualified to judge all of this bhava and all, but it is emotionally attached to them. I know it's difficult for you, but you must give it up. I was just speaking with him in a nice manner, and he was also, even though he was emotionally attached to them, he was all okay. But after some time, he stopped contacting me, Prabhu. So I'm left in a
See,
situation like this. So what I can do?
there are two things here. There are two things here. First of all, not that always all the preaching is going to work out. Not that whoever you preach, they are going to follow you. There will be some cases like that. That's the first thing. But doesn't mean that we have to compromise our way of preaching. So especially with a devotee. So nothing wrong in the way you preach. But it's ultimately up to him. But the second thing also, everybody must be given some time. Everybody should be given some space, you see. You cannot tell
Oh,
everything in one day. If you go into corner, push means you'll break. You cannot
oh,
repeatedly keep on telling the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again until you get, block you or something like that. Rather than telling what you should not do, you should emphasize more on what you should do.
yes, Prabhu.
Clear. If someone is worshipping Sai Baba, and rather than telling him the why Sai Baba is bad, you tell him why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is good.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then the moment he get a taste of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he will understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He'll understand Sai Baba, then he will compare, then he'll give up one. But again,
Mm,
it is not going to be always the fact that he is going to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because not everybody is intelligent. But that is the proper
yes,
way. Because I don't like, recently what happened, one Mataji, she was trying to, she has the mission of distributing Prabhupada books. It's not bad, okay? She wanted to distribute as many Bhagavatam as possible. And then she messaged
yes.
me and saying, one of our boy, she said that, Prabhu, I want to distribute Bhagavatam to him. Can I do this? I said, yeah, you can do this, nothing wrong. Then she messaged him and then she said that, Prabhu, actually, I want to buy Bhagavatam. Can you buy Bhagavatam? Said, it's very good for you. Then he said that, okay, yeah, Prahlad Prabhu is guiding me. If you say, I'll take. Then I said, yeah. Then I told you, you take Prabhu. If you want, you can take this book. I told him. Yeah. But I know that he was going through a lot of difficulties financially, not financially, family wise. And then, he was going through a lot of difficulties. So I did not push. But that Mataji, she was pushing him so much to get the Bhagavatam book. And then, then actually, then he called me and then he said, Prabhu, I'm not interested to do it now, but she's pushing me too much. But even though that is good, but I know what I know. I know that he needs some time. Okay, so I told Mataji, he's okay. No, he's in our sangha. No, he needs some time. You give some time for him. And then she started preaching me. She said that no, Bhagavatam is a solution for all the problems. You know, if you buy the book, all his problems will be solved. And he started quoting something here and there, and then he started quoting the Bhagavatam will eventually solve all the problems. It's very important to buy Bhagavatam. So, and I said, yeah, you are right, but you know, it's contextually differs person to person. You know, you cannot force everybody. Everybody needs their own time to take up something. You know, it's not safe for everybody.
Yes,
To
bro.
digest the philosophy, to understand the truth, not everybody takes the same. For example, Tattva Prabhu started chanting 16 rounds on the first day. Understand? But I did not do that. He got first and second initiation one shot. I did not do that. You know. So likewise,
Mm.
person to person, the way they digest the fact and then accepting the fact, it differs. So one thing in preaching, the most important thing is actually you should not push them so much until they started hating you. You
Yes,
give the
bro.
philosophy. I don't say you compromise the philosophy. You give something now, but if you feel they are not qualified to take it, why you tell them something else rather than you telling why they should not hear Amarendra Prabhu? You should tell him you should come for Istagoshti. It will be fun. You can talk about group discussion. You can come. I think you are a very more experienced devotee. You can come for group discussion, and then you can also share your points. We all can learn from you.
Yes, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you come and speak, and then it will be nice to hear from you, and then your version about this, and then we have presentations. You are a lawyer, and then you can give your own presentations, and it will be nice to get
Mm.
your experiences. And then we have a good youth group. You come and join 2 3 weeks. You try to join, and how it is. Then it will come here. Even sometimes flattering also service, preaching.
Mm.
Sometimes
Yes, bro.
flattering also preaching. Sometimes we have to flatter somebody. Some people require flattering. Some require scolding. It's person to person differs. So one thing I know that you should not push them too much anything. Yeah, you tell the fact once you guys you tell, and then you just okay, this guy requires some more time. Leave it, go for further things.
Mm.
You
Yes,
understand?
bro. Yes,
You
bro.
should
Yeah.
know how much you can push. You cannot push such a way that the guy will break and run away.
Yes, bro. That's an offense. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's not offense, bro. Don't go to offense and all. It's not offense. He's a neophyte guy. There is no offense is there. You're going to lose one guy.
Mm.
That's it. It's not offense. Preaching cannot be offense. You're telling the fact. How is it? How is it offense? No, it's not
Mm.
offense. You're
Yes,
telling
bro.
the fact, but this guy cannot take it. It means he's so foolish. So fools need more time. Intelligent boy will learn 1 second, but foolish people need
Yes,
some
bro.
time.
Yes, bro.
That's why there is one pastime, right? Prabhupada pastime, and Prabhupada got one Mataji. She was drawing. She was smoking and drawing. Smoking and then she was drawing. Prabhupada was ready to do the service, and she will draw and she will take a break and go smoke and come back, continue drawing. She was doing that. So, but she was making progress one side. Spiritually, she was making progress by touching Krishna and drawing and talking to Prabhupada, taking instruction on this art and all those things. And one day, Prabhupada understood that this Mataji is now qualified to receive the instruction. Then he told that, see, Mataji, Krishna loves you very much. You are very, very dear to Krishna, very close to Krishna. And there is little distance between you and Krishna. That's only this much. That is the cigarette size. Cigarette long distance between you and Krishna. If you can give up that cigarette long distance, Krishna will be yours. Then she gave up.
Mm. Yes,
So
bro.
why Prabhupada did not say on the first day itself? Why Prabhupada? Prabhupada Acharya. But why Prabhupada took so long time to tell this word? It is not a big discussion or 1 hour he did not tell, 1 hour class session, but just one word, one sentence, or 2 3 sentences. It took only less than 1 minute to tell. Why Prabhupada did
Mm.
not say one first day? Why Prabhupada is saying now? So we have to respect people's false ego. As a preacher, you must respect people's false ego. That's one of the important principles in preaching. Respect others' false ego. That is the way of
Yes, Prabhu.
preaching style of Nityananda Prabhu. You just knock the householder, you knock the door. The moment householder opened the house, the Thai will fall at their feet. The Thai will say, please chant Hare Krishna. You are a big scholar, but it's okay. Give up and then chant Hare Krishna mantra. Same style Prabodhananda Saraswati also follows, right? You know the verse, right? Dante.
Yes, Prabhu.
You know the verse? You can share here.
Yeah,
You
I
remember
don't
that?
know the thing, Prabhu. I don't know the number, but the translation.
Okay. Actually, I'm on the mobile today because I'm a little busy today. Mm. One minute. So, okay, please don't disturb. Chant. Finish 8 rounds. Okay. It is actually Prabodhananda Saraswati. Somebody try to find the verse. Anyway, it's okay. I'm not able to find it now. Okay. So Prabodhananda Saraswati will hold the straw in the mouth and then he'll go to the householder and then he will knock the door. When the householder open the house, he fall at his feet. And then he will say, hey Sadhava. That's the word. He say, hey Sadhava. You can find this word. Hey Sadhava, you are a great personality. Sadhava means a great personality. Hey Sadhu, you are very much intelligent materially. But all this education is useless. Please take shelter of the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the only one solution. See, he's flattering. He's calling him as a sadhava. He's saying actually calling him as a great devotee. Got the verse? Yeah.
Oh,
You got the verse?
yes, Prabhu, I have it here. But I need to zoom
What is
in.
the Bengali?
So here it says.
Anyway, it's okay. That's enough. You can just show that.
This is a verse by Prabhupada.
Read this.
This is a verse by Prabhupada Saraswati, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He submitted this verse that Dante Nidhaya Trinakam Pados Nipat. And I'm falling down on your feet and I'm flattering you hundreds of ways. Aham Bravimi. I'm submitting something to you.
You search that Dante Nidayat. You search that one. You can get a proper translation.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dante Nidayat Trinakam. This phone camera is not good. Can you excuse me? Okay, you got it?
Oh, Prabhu. Need to find a proper.
Anyway, so that is the preaching style. If you find, you can share. That is the preaching style, You have to understand. Take some time, The preaching is actually consume a lot of time, to make one devotee. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, this is the one. You got the verse, Dharani Prabhu? Dharani? Yeah, what is the verse it is? What is this verse?
Dante Nidhaya Tranakam Padayor Nipatya.
Open the verse.
No, Prabhu, I'm only reading from Dharani Prabhu's message only.
No, he hasn't put the number.
Copy and paste in Google. You can find it. Then it will show the verse number. Eight rounds. 8 rounds you finished. No, you chant now. Finish your balance 4 rounds. Chant now. Yeah.
Dante nidhaya trinakam padayor nipatya.
Make it bigger, if possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it better?
It's small. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's okay because I'm in the mobile phone. If others are okay, I'm okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dante
okay.
nidhaya trinakam padayor nipatya kritva chakaku shatametadaham bhrabimi he sadhavah sakalam eva vihaya durat
Ye
chaitanya.
sadhavaha sakalam eva vihaya durat. It means ye sadhava put everything outside, very far. You throw everything very far. Sakalam eva vihaya durat. Yes. Then?
Chaitanya Chandra Charane Kurutanuragam.
Yeah. And then he takes shelter of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see how nicely Prabodhananda Saraswati is preaching? Translation.
Holding straw between my teeth, I
Yes.
fall at your feet, and with hundreds of supplications I say, dear sirs, throw away everything and devote yourself to the feet of Sri Chaitanya Chandra.
So when you preach, you should become humble and preach. You cannot keep your false ego and preach. So the basic principle of preaching is yena tena prakarena manakrishna nivedita. Your idea should be some or other I should make him a devotee. So if chastisement required, you chastise. If submission required, you submit. If you have to use nice words, you use nice words. If you have to flatter, you flatter. Otherwise, if he's so foolish guy, engage him in service. Ask him to do this, ask him to do that, ask him to donate something, ask him to help for a gomatas, ask him to do the prasadam distribution program and come cut vegetables. Like that, and some more other engage him in some service. Understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Anything about this?
No, I just understood that, Prabhu, that I should have maybe I'll message him and ask him to join the Istagoshti and everything.
It's okay. No,
Because
that's
he
how we
was there
learn.
many
No,
years.
that's how we learn. We do mistakes and learn from that. It's okay to do mistake. That's how we learn. I said a lot of mistakes
Yes,
and
Prabhu.
learn.
Yes, Prabhu.
No need to worry. It's not
Yeah,
offend
but he's
something like
not
that.
like angry or anything against me.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhu. He's not angry or anything against me. We deal like friends only. No, bro. I was just saying he was not angry with me or something. We're dealing like friends. But I don't know, for something he's busy with exams. So now I just asked him if he can join to go.
We cannot take your push.
So,
He is not able to take your push.
mhm.
Repeatedly say the same thing every time.
Yes.
It's difficult for the person. Give some time. That is preaching. Not that whatever philosophy, vomit everything in one day. That's not preaching.
Yes.
Yeah. Give some time. Mhm.
Yes. So,
Madhav Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I am very, very sorry. Okay. I was in Vrindavan, I was in Kasi, I was in Kurukshetra, I was in continuous travel. Just today morning I came back.
Yeah, I can see. I can see.
Yeah, that is why it was so tiring. Still I'm very, very tired. And also I don't have a laptop, I don't have a printers, and I don't have a stamp and all those things. So no, I tried to do before I go, I thought of finishing this letter and go, but so much work was there that time, and I could not do that. But tomorrow I'll confirm to it. It's there in my laptop, Prabhu. I just need to search for the letter. It's just a 5 minutes or 10-minute job. It won't take much time. But I'm extremely sorry. Tomorrow it's okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know you should be upset with me also.
No, I'm not
I
upset. I just asked if you want, I can come also with tourist visas. No problem.
No, we'll try this one. What's wrong in that? We'll try. It just is 5-10 minute job for me, Prabhu. Just that time I could not do that.
But
Yeah.
As long as I'm here, I try to make everything here also, so no problem.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll do it. I'll complete it. Yeah. Okay then. So anything else about this?
It sounds like the differentiation between like who could preach to in a certain way. It sounds
Of
like a
course.
madhya karikat.
Of
It sounds like
course.
a madhya.
Yeah. That's it. No, that's why the Madhya devotee is called as, who is advanced, who is neophyte, who is intelligent, who is foolish. That you should negotiate. That should not negotiate. That you should differentiate, and then you give different philosophy. See, Prabhu, even in our temple also, I observe that some devotee do some mistake, but I will not go immediately and call him and correct him. I wait for the right time. The right time comes, I do that. Otherwise, simply they get broken and they'll run away. So everything has its own time and then the way of doing things, that is experience.
So
Person to person. Yeah, tell me.
you were mentioning before Prabhupada was making sannyasis because he had to work with the men that he has. So it seems like our situation is the same. We're making preachers out of the men that we have, right?
Yes. Yes, but we cannot do foolishly, we cannot do foolishly. We should have some, realistic understanding also. So what I was saying is actually, I was saying about, but see, the person should be ready, first of all. The person is ready, then you can do. Otherwise, you will simply break away. You'll run away. Yeah.
Clear.
Otherwise, simply you can be puffed up saying that, oh, I gave a piece of my mind to him, I spoke to him, I gave all the philosophy. This guy could not answer my answers, he ran away. You can just be puffed up by the way you preach. But did the guy become a devotee or not? That's a test by your preaching. Yeah.
Yes, it's clear because like I do have a desire, and I know I shouldn't have a desire. I desire to like paint and everything. And there are devotees in Prabhupada time where they were painting. Like where was their activity in preaching? They were just mainly painting for the BBT books. So in my case, like I always think of it. I was like, oh man, maybe one day I'll be able to paint more often and everything. But I still have to go out and preach. So I just have that, in the back of my mind. I just wanted to reveal that, you know.
What is that you want to paint? Is it? What did you say?
Yeah, like making comics like how it was before 2025. No, I because like preaching is there, but also like the talent of the devotee, he has to use it. But if there's no manpower, he has to drop that and then go out and preach. So
Yeah, it goes to priority. It goes to priority. You may want to do so many things, but what is required for the guru, now you do that. Now what Prabhupada wants from you, you do that one. Of course, you can aspire for doing something that's good, but also you can sleep less and eat less and do that as extra service. That's okay. But you can say, bro, I have this talent, I want to do this. You cannot say that. So whatever is required for the temple president will say, just do that.
that's a fact. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Even though I'm advising you and all those things, but whatever Rajagishore Prabhu say, that takes the priority, preference.
Yes.
Because he is your temple president,
Yes.
And everybody has a different style of managing. Yeah. And you have to
Yes.
follow only what he is saying to you.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Clear. Clear.
You follow him, whatever he say, just do. But
Yeah.
if you want to do
Yes.
the comments, you eat less and sleep less, and try the extra time you do this. Don't compromise the temple service time.
Yeah. Yes, bro. Yes.
Okay. Looks like some cooking program going on parallelly. Cooking class.
Oh no, Prabhu.
You are teaching something. How to? What is this? What are you cooking?
I'm just making some chapatis.
I'm making chapati. Huh? Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So anything else? Any other questions or points or comments? I just came from Vrindavan Dham. I was there.
How long you was
So
there?
fast.
Are you in a hotel or it looks like a hospital?
Sorry?
Are you in a hotel or it looks like a
No,
hospital?
I'm just saying, I'm in my house now.
Oh,
I
okay,
just came
okay.
from the temple just to have this.
I
Yeah,
saw immediately that you're not home.
yeah. No, it's just like it almost looks like a hospital with that little like switch pad in the back or something like that light switches. And then I was
The
like, oh,
lights
he's
are.
in the hospital. Something happened.
So it's a small house. Hmm. I just came. I'll be going back to the temple again. It's 7:10 now. Also I need to finish my rounds. The morning I could not do that. So that's why Kartik Prabhu said that, okay, Istagoshti yesterday. So I joined because Ashwin could not join. So I thought it won't be good if I don't join. So I came and joined. Yeah, I won't be able to spend more time today. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay then.
Yes.
So who is Piyush, Umesh, Vasnavi?
That's my cousin,
Introduce
Prabhu.
yourself. What's your cousin?
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhu.
So yeah, introduce yourself, please. Hare Krishna.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about Jay Khanna?
Is the
No, I
devotee?
would not be able to start the video call because I'm facing some network issues here.
No,
But
it's okay.
I
Audio
can,
call is fine.
yes.
Audio call is
So
fine.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna. My
continue.
name is Piyush Vasnani, and currently I'm residing in Gabon, Libreville, right? And I've been in this meeting last week also. This was introduced to me by Mr. Lavish, right?
Okay.
And currently I'm in Gabon and working as in a travel agency, right? And I've been in Krishna consciousness introduced back to me, and it was 2020, right? So since then I've been following bits and traces of Krishna consciousness, but it has been reintroduced to me now because since I've been out of my country 1.5 years, so I could not devote much of my time. But now I'm getting back to it. So
Hmm.
this is my second meeting here.
Well, where are you staying? Austria also?
I'm staying in
Ah,
Libreville,
sorry?
Libreville, Gabon.
I don't understand.
Uh, Libreville, Gabon. I'll just write
Oh,
it
where
down.
is it? Where is it?
Gabon, it's Central Africa.
Okay. Okay, good. Hmm. So how
Senegal.
many rounds you're chanting?
Yeah, since last week I've been chanting like so since last week I've been chanting like 16 rounds.
Okay.
But as I said that I could not continue for 1.5 years, so I've been reintroduced, and now I've been chanting 16 rounds every night
Very good.
on,
Very
on
good.
my
Keep it
fingers
up.
because I don't have the mala with me. So what I do is I count it on my fingers when I chant.
Yeah. You cannot buy the chanting beads. Any ISKCON temple is there?
No, no, there's no excess of ISKCON or any such facility over here.
I heard that Africa, the
Yes, it is
Hinduism is spreading
available in
wisely.
Point Nor. It's available in DRC, but not
Hmm.
here in Gabon.
I heard that Africans are getting interest towards Hinduism nowadays. Is it true?
Yes, most of them. Many of them actually are introduced to Hinduism fairly, but
Wow.
the place that where I live, it is mostly dominated by Christians and Muslims, so there's not much of
Hmm.
a Hindu influence over here.
Okay. So Africa is becoming a Hindu slowly, is it?
No, I cannot say that. It's actually turning more Islamic. It says that some
Islamic.
people who are showing, yes, it says that some people who are showing interest in Hinduism, they are devoted most towards Krishna Bhakti. But
Hmm.
the way I see it, the people that I meet, mostly they are Christians or Muslims.
And many Mayavadis also there, no? Many Mayavadis also there, right?
Yes,
Many of them,
yes, most of them are Mayavadis here.
only
The
few Hare
people,
Krishnas.
very
Hmm.
few, none
Hmm.
where I live.
Okay. Good, good. Keep it up. Whatever possible way you preach, you try to preach about the philosophy. Whoever you meet, huh?
Yes, 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 yes,
Good.
Prabhuji.
Nice meeting you. You come every week, huh? Come for our
Yes,
japa
this
session
is
in the
my
morning.
second meeting here.
Good, good,
This is
good,
my
good.
second
Thank you
meeting
so
here.
much. How many rounds you're chanting? 16 rounds. Good. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep
I'm
up the 16 rounds.
chanting 16 on my fingers.
Hmm.
16 rounds on my
That's
fingers.
okay. You try to send some chanting beats to Vishnu.
Yes, Prabhu, I can do that also.
Try to arrange some beats for him.
I could not. I could not hear you.
Yes, Prabhu, I'll send over some Japa beats for him if he can't find in immediate vicinity. I can
Hmm.
give him. I can transfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Jay Khanna? Who is Jay Khanna?
From Berlin, Prabhu.
Berlin.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay then. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next week. You all continue.
Thank you
Huh?
so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Huh? Haribo. Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu.
Haribo. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So what is the
Hare
next
Krishna.
program?
No more program, Prabhu. Only Q&A this week. Did not arrange much. Next week we'll have the whole fledged program.
Okay. So whatever you want to do now, you can do.
Yes. What are they now? So yeah, just as Prahlad Prabhu said, very happy to have you here, Piyush Prabhu. Please come every week. I know you might be busy with
Yes,
different things, but please
yes,
do try and
I'll
come.
make it a habit now. Keep it a habit and join weekly sessions daily from now, regularly.
Yes, Prabhu. How old are you, by the way, Prabhu?
I'm 25.
Oh,
25.
Yes, I'm 25.
Are, are you married?
No, not yet. I'm working now.
Yes, Prabhu, right. So then you have some time on your hands, right? So please do join
Yes,
whenever you're free. And yeah, and we have
yes,
japa
most
sessions as
certainly.
well. Yeah,
At
we have
what time?
japa.
I'm only aware of this one session as of now. So if
Yeah, I'll
I
tell you
can
about
make
the japa
time, I'll join
sessions.
the other ones also.
Yeah, japa sessions start from, I can speak about the Indian time. So you have to just see which time it is for you. Okay.
It is GMT plus 1 for here in Africa for me.
same
Oh,
as
is it? All right, all right. So in India, it starts from 4 a.m. and all the way up to
Okay.
10 a.m. it goes to, right? Then again
Okay.
from 4 p.m. all the way up to 6 p.m. Indian time. So,
Okay.
by the way, your time as well as South Africa time is the same, right?
South Africa, I believe, is an hour behind me. I think.
Oh, is it? Hmm. So anyway, you can just look forward for this, 4 to 10
Yes,
morning.
yes,
We have,
Prabhuji, most certainly.
yeah. What time it will be? 4 a.m. Indian time to your time?
4 a.m. Indian time would be 11:30 at the night, one day before.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
Yes.
So anyway, I mean, at your Brahma Muhurta time, uh, I don't
Mhm.
know what time the sun rises for you, but just 1 hour, 1.5 hours before sunrise, if you could wake up and chant, that is always the best time to chant for me. Because
Yes.
whatever chanting you do, whatever devotional activity you do in that particular period is going to have much more of a spiritual effect than when compared
Yes.
to being done at other times of the day. So please
Yes.
do endeavor for this. And yeah, that's true. So
Yes,
thank you
Prabhuji.
once again for coming. Very happy to have you here. Hope to see you more
Thank you.
regularly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
So Madhav Prabhu, when are you coming to India?
It's independent on Prahlad Prabhu.
He's
Or
waiting.
is it?
It's always independent. I mean, I can come with my tourist visa, no problem, but then I cannot stay as long as I want, you know?
Yes,
So, I
yes.
mean, it's the first time that someone outside can stay 5 years in India.
Mm.
So, and
Correct,
also
correct.
when this works, then I can take the paperments from IceCam Pondicherry and bring it to Germany and can make IceCam Germany on paperment also, you know?
Mm.
So this is my plan
Yeah.
to make the IceCam here, Germany, Europe, so we can start many centers.
Mm.
But
So what
in
about
Germany,
Mathurapati Prabhu?
huh?
Mathurapati Prabhu does not have a problem with all of this? Like he doesn't cause problems
I
to us?
don't take care. They don't give me prasadam. So I mean, what kind
Oh,
of temple is this? When
is it?
you choose who become prasadam or not. So I mean,
Uh,
you have to know that he works also with ISKCON together. You know, so if he becomes too big, then also from the ISKCON side, the GBC member, Dina Sharan and everyone, they will call him. So and I make so much trouble that they ask him, "Oh, you are also IceCam now," and then he gets a little bit angry with me, and then because he want to make his own, you know. So
Yes.
he make his own trustee. He have now IHKM. I mean, it's the name International Hare Krishna Movement, something like this, and he want to work with the Jaipur devotees together, and he want to be cool with everyone, but he don't want to be under control or something like this.
yeah.
So
He
I
doesn't even
cannot.
give you prasadam, is it? I mean, he doesn't have any friendly relationship with you?
No, at first I was here and I was a little bit longer because I just want to go to the temple that Prahlad knows, okay, Madhava Prabhu, he chant his rounds, you know, that some old devotees, take care. It was just for him. And then I just asked, can I come Sunday program, you know? But the problem is that all the people who come to Sunday programs, the Kriyastas, you know, they ask me, oh, what you are doing, Madhava, and all these kind of stuff. And then we see too much discussion started here because of me. And then in the end, he kicked me out and said, no, it's too much. Otherwise, I will change too many people, you know, because at the moment
Yeah.
I call people. I mean, after this session, I have to call another family, and because they know that I start IceCam here, and now so many people want to work with me together. Even they want to go out from ISKCON and want to live here with me. So and because they know that IceCam is more stronger, you know. So and it's have the same strongness like ISKCON if we make it really good, so we can build a real GBC and all this, and more people from ISKCON, they will come to us, and then in the end I hope that we can use the normal ISKCON, we can use the normal BBG and everything, because everything is there. So and normally we have the rights to use it. So but at the moment you will do it, they will come with lawyers and everything, but normally it's completely cheating what they are doing. And even with the box, so I mean, they have no BBT. I mean, it's BBTI, you know. So and BBTI uses only the documents of BBT, but this is not what Prabhupada wanted. And also, if you look now in Germany sites, if you look on ISKCON on the website, and then you can see the GBC structure and everything. So I mean, it's complete changed, and they show it on internet, and they make a complete new structure. We have 100 Prabhupada gurus now. It's complete stupid. I cannot understand this. And it's just because of the glories, they cannot give up. Okay, Prabhupada becomes the glories, or everyone is Prabhupada disciple. They want the glories, and yes.
I didn't know actually Mathurapati Prabhu was working with ISKCON also. Actually, he's initiated by us, right? He's initiated by Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Yeah, but second initiation is not by Sundar Gopal. Second initiation was by Maru Pandit, yeah. So I mean, this is also a little bit kind of, it's just, I mean, be loyal, So why do this and do this? So, and yeah, this is why I was 4.5 years in the temple, not like the people outside who come to the temple or like you. I was full in this temple. Normally, everyone after 6 months you become first initiation, second, and I was always wondering why we don't become the Somaturapa. And then in the end, I hear because we have not the structure and no old senior devotees want to work with him anymore. And then I was a little bit upset, So and now I have a little bit luck because Sundar Gopal and Pralab Prabhu, they know that I lived 4.5 years in a temple strict, But Mathura Pati, he tried to change this and said, no, he was not good devotee and blah, blah, blah. And
yes, Prabhu.
So in fact, Mathurapati Prabhu got second.
That's why I always want to come and meet Sundar Gopal personally and want to live 6 months or 1 year under his guidance that he can see, okay, he's full, clear and strict. So this is all what I want. It's all my wish that become a real name, and because especially here for Europe, if you have this, the people, they are more attractive, and also for yourself, it's not that you get puffed up, so it's a little bit safe, for me, just for me. So because I take it more serious. I mean, I take it also so serious, but it's also a part. I mean, it's not a big part, but it's also a small part. So, and if you give 4.5 years your life and your time in the temple and Prabhupada, and you're really strict, no onion, no garlic, no illegal sex, nothing, full brahmachari. So it's a little bit upset after so many years that. But no problem. Now I try to work here, but for me everything is new with online, and everything, because I'm just put my phone away and I'm just going out and preaching and doing something normal.
That's true. So now in Mathurapati Prabhu's camp, who's giving initiation as a ritual representative? Is he doing it?
No, how he can do this?
So if somebody want to take initiation, then what he say?
Yeah, then they go to Jaipur.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jaipur, yeah, HKC.
I mean, if they want, they can go also to Madhu Pandit, So, and normally before also Sundar Gopal, but Sundar Gopal don't do it anymore. So, and I mean, I cannot understand why all these big devotees don't work together, but what we can do, so if the others don't want, this one is from Bangalore, they make compromises. The others, they don't want to share, they want to be alone. Mathura Pati want to make us alone. In America, we don't have something big one. So Africa, we don't have something big one. So what we can do? And ISKCON grows up daily more and more and more. So, and we are struggling and fighting and discussing. No, we have to be strong also together like a family and bring the attraction back. And everything starts also really with the temple in Pondicherry, because they rebuilt a new Vrindavan. So what I try is, because we have a big castle here, and if I show you a picture of this castle, then you will immediately say, okay, it's Mayapur. So I mean, it's a little wish, but it's possible. So why we should not bring a Ratha Yatra here in Europe and everywhere again? Yeah, and
that's cool. Eager to see you here, Prabhu. Hoping to have your association when you come.
If I'm back, we go out.
Yeah, but one of your friends is not here.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know. But
you know, right?
well, trust me, one day I will bring him back. I
Yeah.
will find his family because I know his
Uh-huh.
father's general, and I will told him, look, I'm from Germany. I know all
Yeah.
his. So in the name of Chandra Bose, bring your son back to the temple.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing okay now. He's working.
Oh, this is
So
stupid, Prabhu. This is really stupid. But it's okay.
yeah,
There's
what
no
to do?
need.
You bring him back, huh? Yeah.
I'm bringing him back one day. Yes.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
mean, I feel a little bit upset because this is why I was upset why I was so long not at home, because maybe when I was home I could stop him, you know.
Mm.
Also Anutama, so he was complete alone, and then I left the temple, and then he goes away, and I mean now they are big, you know, many devotees are there, but imagine when you are
Yes.
complete alone, it's different. So and I was 4.5 years alone, so I I don't know some families,
Yeah.
but
How
for
we
me,
manage alone, Prabhu? It's so difficult, huh? It's managing alone.
I know, but I'm a wolf, you know. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
wolf, a surviving wolf, in the name of Prabhupada. So yes, it's no problem even if you're alone. Whatever, wherever you are, because just look on your phone, just chanting, or like Louis Prabhu say, just remain the slokas, you know, and then you have association. Just open the book, you have association with Prabhupada, with Brahma, with everyone. So you're never alone.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
If you think you're alone, then you are complete in Maya.
Yes. So when you come, how long you will stay here in India? How long you're planning?
Yeah, I mean, if this works with this missionary visa, then I have time. Then I just ask Palap Prabhu what is his next plan with me, what he want to do, if he want to send me to Sundar Gopal or Nima Prabhu or Germany back. I don't know what his plan. So, but I could stay 5 years if I want.
Oh,
but
wow.
but
5 years.
yeah, because missionary visa, I can go out in and out. You know, it's the same
Mm.
visa ISKCON have. So. That's why we're trying to work on this. And also, when Nimai Prabhu have this, we can travel over the world, you know, with a missionary visa and can stay in other countries for 5 years for preaching activities. So all the devotees could do this then. And this is why we are trying this.
Yes, Prabhu. I really hope you can get this done. Missionary visa. That will be very nice.
Yes, this would be really nice. This would be really nice. And then I can go home. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm more Indian than Germany. Trust me,
Yes.
really. Even in Germany, they feel it more. Oh no, Madhava Prabhu, go back. So, and then I try to stand. I mean, 2 weeks in Vrindavan because I just want to put my mind out, you know, just reload my battery, and then I go to Pralab Prabhu, and then let's see.
Yes, Prabhu.
At first, I have to go to market, meet all the
Yes.
Matajis. And yes, I have some nice plans because I work a little bit on my English arguments. So and let's go to the big shops, you know, because I make some strategies. Maybe they may want to make some business with some German businessmen. You know, they are really interested to make some business with Indian people, and maybe if they do this, then they will be nice if they give a donation for temple here, because in India they are more doing this, you know, make donations for nice
Yes.
temple. And I mean, now we have a good basic in Pondicherry, and the people in Pondicherry, they don't know that they built Vrindavan. So how stupid, you know? They are full in Kali Yuga, so they are more attracted in the beach or alcohol, but they don't know that the great temple is building, and they don't know what's going on around the world. Just looking on the
Yes.
phone and Telegram and make nice pictures and bussy, girlfriend here and all this nonsense, you know.
That's
So,
why when you come and when you do book distribution, they see, oh, somebody is not from India and he's coming, so they come and ask you to take books.
yes.
You watched that video which Rishikesh Prabhu made? Me, you, him, do book
I
distribution at night, night time.
I have it on my Instagram. Yes.
Is it?
I,
Yeah,
I
we'll recreate that again.
yeah, for sure. We will cut. We will cut
Yeah,
the electricity that everything is dark, and then we will run out again.
yeah. That was very fun. That was one of the first times doing book distribution also. So you come, Prabhu, and then they will see that some German is giving Hare Krishna books, and then they'll more likely buy it.
You know that you can go out with books that you have more mercy than not even Mother Yashoda have this. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Look, imagine that you stand 8 or 10 hours out with the books. You know, you hold Krishna in your arm. 8 hours. You know, you have Krishna in your arm. Can you believe this? Not even Mother Yashoda.
Yeah.
Mercy,
Yes.
but we will. But you know how we think we stay out. I stay out 8 hours. No one want the book, Krishna. I'm such a loser, or I don't know. No. You have the mercy that you can stand with Krishna outside. You know, the more and more you understand this, then you're complete. You just go out, and it's not you who preaches. It's Krishna who uses you like a puppet, and you enjoy it because you just want to connect the people. You know, you want to give the glories to Krishna, and you enjoy if someone, because you can see it in the eyes. You know, the eyes get open, and then they becomes a little attachment and attraction of Krishna, and they want a little bit more, and then you're like, yes, come on, take this. This,
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
yes, so I try my best to become this visa, and then I will see you all again.
Yes, Prabhu. Happy
I miss
to
you.
have your
So
association.
yes. So
Now
now
we
I
have
will.
Prabhu in Austria also. He also trying to push in Austria, Lubesh Prabhu. In
Yes.
Europe, and Sam Prabhu also in Europe. And
Jai Prabhu also
yeah,
in
Nimai Prabhu. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Europe doors are opening now slowly. And Sankirtans are beginning very soon also in
Yeah,
Austria.
you start all this. Yeah, you start
In
it every day
mid-March.
actually.
Yes, Prabhu. Mid-March.
Just go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the weather, like middle March or beginning of April, I'll begin the Sankirtans in the park. I might not do it live. I might not be able to do it live, but I will definitely make recordings of whenever like I'll place my phone here because I have a handle. I can do it, and then I can record it and then send it to the group, and then you all can relish.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, actually, book distribution you can do.
Yes, but I'm
I don't
taking
know,
my
you can
backup.
maybe.
I'm taking the books. Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask Prahlad Prabhu what to do, maybe Sunday program or what. Yeah, if you have to do a Sunday program, though, you have to be very much, fixed up and pakka, in all endeavors. But you can
Yes,
ask
of
Prabhu,
course.
like, what's the idea? Sunday program, or just do basic book distribution, share the contacts of India Temple, and like that. Or how you want to do, you can figure
I'll
out.
start. No. So what I'll do is my plan is that I'll wait for Sunday programs. And instead, what I'll do is I'll go on the Sankirtans, and then what I'll do is I'll make these cards, okay, for myself, the ISKM cards and ISKM Austria cards. I'll give them my contact information, and anyone who's interested, I can distribute books to them and also add them to the ISKM Austria congregation group as well as the main Vaishnav Sangha group. And in that way, we can cultivate some people. And only when I have some people who are, at least fixed up in the sense that now they really want to follow this kind of thing, right? When I'm properly acquainted with them and everything, then I can start Sunday programs. I'll wait for Sunday programs. Right now, I just want to do kirtans and do a bit of book distribution and collect some
Yeah.
acts and make some congregation. And when there are enough people, maybe 5 or 6 or something, then I'll start some program because then I have people to really preach to. Right now, there's no one.
Yes.
I completely stopped preaching to the Indians because they're actually very useless. In fact, I just left
Yeah.
their association. I told them, please, do one thing, don't contact me again. Go your way, I go my way. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to, these people are very useless. Actually, I've seen personally firsthand. I went there in their congregation. I went. I saw what nonsense they are doing.
Because they want to be chummy chummy, they want to make money, and they just want to at the same time have the feeling of not, forgetting their culture. Just an emotional, very, very surface level.
That
Especially those who are young,
uh,
if you can find somebody who's like 14 years old, 15 years old, 16,
yeah.
17, then you hit a gold mine because the false ego is very less. If anybody is over 20, 25, especially 25 is very difficult because even though they might be intelligent, they'll either take more time to accept or they will, it might take some more time for them because they have learned a lot of nonsense along the way. But if you find somebody young, like 14, 15, 16, 17, then you can, then he will give himself to you. All right, whatever you tell me, I will do. That's it. Simple mindedness. So,
Yes, Prabhu. I'm thinking if it's possible, because if it's possible, I might actually do Sankirtans at my university park itself because there's so many young people there.
yeah, but be careful, huh? Like, at least for Indian universities, I can say, like, there was one devotee from ISKCON. He was telling me, of course, I don't associate with him, but sometimes, just say Hare Krishna and go. So he was telling me that you were doing book distribution inside the hostel, going knocking the door, right? Then some person complained and he got a huge fine. They called his parents, made a huge scene and everything, and he got like very much like in trouble for it. So you check the rules of the university premises and all, and if it's for you, if it's okay, then you do it. As for us here, it's like banned clearly.
Yeah, here also I know because I've seen some ISKCON people at my university once or twice. And they were actually not in the university per se because they wanted to distribute books there, but they were coming from the university back to the tram stop. And I met two that I actually know because two brahmacharis went to distribute books, but they had to come back to the tram stop. And I was at the tram stop. I just happened to spot them and I asked them, and I knew them also because I knew them personally. And I asked them, Prabhu, why aren't you distributing in the university? They said that in the university it's not allowed to distribute books. So although I might not be allowed to distribute books in the university, my plan is to go in covered. What's that Sanskrit word for covered? Bauddham uchyate. That was so that I forgot. Anyway, point is, I'll take my bag with books and then prachannam. That's the word. I was covered. So I'll take some books with me in the bag and I'll take my kartals with me. And then what I'll do is I'll just play kirtan there. I'll ask if I can play some music. If they allow me to do that, then automatically I'll distribute books also. Towards the end of the kirtan, I'll just personally, whoever is there and gathered, I'll just ask them if they want a book or something, and it's going to be done like
Yeah,
the
I
guys of
mean that's
kirtan.
what I do. I do, of course, I don't do kirtan here, but the same logic which you said, I also do. But of course, I told you, right? Things are like, even if it's banned completely to preach or to do kartal or whatever, you can try to do this. Just always keep like 4, 5 books in your bag. And if you see that somebody is innocent, or somebody is kind of intelligent, just by observing him facially, facial expressions, so on, make a friendship with him. Speak a little bit about Krishna consciousness and everything. And after 1 week or 3, 4 days, after getting somewhat of a decent friendship or well-wisher type relationship, then you tell them, we are here, we give out books about God consciousness, and we are a non-profit running, we feed homeless people, you can say whatever you want. And that way you can sell a book. That's what I do here. For the first week, I just observe, speak a little bit about Krishna consciousness, and then after that, I give them the book. That way, one, they won't go and complain because they have some relationship with me. And second, they won't feel too intimidated also. Because if they feel intimidated in the college, they might complain, right? But if you form a relationship, then it's easy. So you should do that. Like every time you go to the college, always keep 5 books with you. Doesn't matter you sell that book that day or no, or you find someone or you don't find anyone. That's secondary, you know. But if you just kind of like recruit like this in the class, see that who's like, especially those who are sitting alone and those who are like nerds and those who are like a little bit young, your juniors, they'll tend to listen to you much more than those who are in groups or those who are seniors or doing some kind of very highly passionate endeavor. So just see accordingly and try. Like that, I also sold some books, like I believe 30 books here. Of course, very, very few, to be very frank. About 3 years, 30 to 35, I don't know. But in an undercover way without getting caught or anything. So you can try to do that. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, for sure, for sure. That's my plan.
And if you can take some prasadam cookies or something, maybe anything that's like easy to make or something, that way you can also get them easily. Because the best way to kind of offer your association is by giving them your prasadam, not your prasadam, Krishna prasadam, but whatever you've made. You see, so that way then they'll automatically their heart softens, right? They kind of become indebted to you, So then, yeah, and over time, then finally, even if they want to say no, they'll be like, what, he has given some nice cookies and he's a nice guy. He offered me his friendship. Never mind, lad, I'll just buy this book. He's a non-profit organization and helping the homeless. Prashadam distribution is given. So that way is one trick. For those whom you think that you can sell the book, but they're a little bit more hard-hearted. All this, of course, you have to see, but I'm yet to implement this, to be very frank, because I don't have ready-made like Prashadam cookies or anything here. But yeah, it's a very good idea you can do, definitely. And they get benefited also. And along with the Prashadam cookie, what you can do is you can also give them the Hare Krishna card with the mantra. Then they'll accept it more readily, easily. So then by seeing the card and having the Prashadam, or maybe it'll just be in their bag every now and then they have to take and put it back. They'll just see Prabhupada Krishna, Hare Krishna, then they get more and more softened. Their heart becomes more and more soft. And as they get more and more softened, then they'll buy the book from you. All of this, like, of course, secondary ways, because if you cannot directly go and give them the books because of some regulation or whatever in college, then you can do this. So, yeah. In fact, Aditya Prabhu also, he does things like this. He tries to give some prasadam cookies and bring devotees to our temple like that in India. But in your place, it'll be a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhupada, I have a question. I'm curious. With regards to restrictions on preaching, are the restrictions more related to it being associated with what would be considered a religious organization and you not having approval to come and discuss those ideas or distribute books related to it? Or is it more about selling the books and having the commercial, let's say, license or permission to do
In my
that?
university, it's different. In my university, it's like they don't like any religion being discussed, because they think it's just like a distraction. So in my case, it's like this. And also, they don't like the fact that some people are trying to maybe, take people with themselves. Because in India, there's a problem in religious conversion. So they don't like all this. So I don't know in Austria and in other places how, but in India, it's like this.
Yeah, I wonder if there are ways around definitions of what is considered religion and what's not, because I mean, you go to universities around the world and people demonstrate also for like all kinds of topics, whether it's like social, political topics and subjects. So I wonder where from the state or from university policies and all, like where they draw the line and say that, okay, this is not allowed and where it is. I think it could be a tricky subject to
For them,
navigate.
Prabhu, to be very frank, in India, speaking from experience in India, I can tell you. About other countries, I'm not aware. But in India, I will tell you how it is. You see, because the Indians kind of, they don't value their own culture. I mean, I'm sure you're aware because you visited as well. The Indians, they don't value their own culture. They always look towards the West and they look towards, Europe and all these countries as a kind of advanced civilization. And they always want to kind of imitate them in various different fashions. Okay, so that is one thing. And the second thing is that this modern education system, it kind of reinforces that idea about the Indians being kind of primal and all this, right? So even if there are no restrictions, the problem with Indians is that either one, they think they know everything, okay? Because they're from an Indian background. They say, you're telling me about Krishna, but I know Krishna from birth. I know Krishna more than you. They'll debate like that, number one. Or number two, if somebody is a little bit more quote unquote educated and coming from, if he has some experience in the Western world or if he has gone and traveled and something like that, then he is actively trying to forget his own culture because he's been more programmed this way. So either they're proud in this term, thinking that they know more about God, about Krishna, or secondly, um, they want to forget. They think, no, you know what, I can do without this. So in these two senses, they are mischievous. Even there are no regulations, I'm saying, okay, in general preaching. And regarding to university regulations, they just capitalize on this because many parents who send their students to university in India, they don't want them to kind of come out as a religionist, Yeah, they want to keep their culture a little bit here and there, but they want to send them abroad and all of this. So then the university kind of looks at this as a kind of impediment that we're trying to preach you something about God consciousness, you know. So they don't like it because they want to promote the Western ideas. And second thing is that if in India some news goes on that, okay, this person from this university has become a monk, okay, or this person from this university has become like a priest in a Catholic temple, then all the Indians get, especially the parents and everyone, they get very much frightened because India, unlike the West, is like a much more family-centered unit, So especially in the West, if you do all this also, they'll be not happy with you. But in India, they'll protest more. They'll go to another extreme, go to the cops and file problems, etc. Like for example, when some devotees left college and joined up the temple, the parents get so difficult, and they get so uncomfortable, and then they complain to the university, the cops, and everything. So they're I would say afraid of this transparent. So because of that, they don't. Of course, they don't value number one, and number two, they're scared people will join the movement in India. And it's very unfortunate actually in India. This is the basis of our culture. You cannot give it up like that. They're very unfortunate if they don't understand this thing. But what to do? Especially this modern education is a very, very big hindrance to spiritual understanding because they completely take somebody who's innocent from childhood and completely like program him to be envious of God. So it's not just a system of because if you think about it really, Prabhu, no amount of social or rather government or institutional policies can hinder one's spiritual activities unless and until they themselves want to be kind of compromising. So the problem is, of course, the university does problems, but if the students are all very much trying to practice Krishna consciousness, they cannot say anything. Just to give you an example, during Ramadan time, there are certain special permissions for Muslim students to go break their fast, to leave the class early, to perhaps also for maybe they can even cook their own food and everything. You see, but same thing for Janmashtami, for the whole day Janmashtami fast. In many,
Oh, what happened?
of course, all of these are
Prabhu, you cut
problems.
off.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. I was speaking for quite a long time.
Oh no, it
I
was
mean, from
1 second.
No, yeah, just for a second, like your last sentence.
We lost
no, I
one.
was just saying. You heard this thing right
You said
for in
Janmashtami.
Ramadan.
You
Yeah, in
said,
Janmashtami, when we have to fast the whole day Nirjal, there is no holiday in India, with the place where the Lord personally walked. But for the Ramadan, then there's a lot of concession. Why this comes is because the students themselves, the Muslims, they don't like to compromise. And people know it. The institutions know it, the government knows it. But our people, they're like, whatever is okay. So in both sides is a problem, the institution, but the bigger problem is the students. If all the students say, no, you know what, I'm not coming Janmashtami day class, then they're going to keep a class or what? But yeah, I don't know how it works in Europe, but the summary of preaching in India is this, that they're all very much brainwashed, unfortunately. And they want to actively forget their own culture. Actively, they keep trying to forget their own culture and even protest against all of this. What to do? Somehow we must
so
preach.
where would you think are the like what should be the advised way to determine where it's appropriate to preach? I mean, because one thing
Everywhere is a place to preach, Prabhu.
laws, regulations, right? But then there's also all this anti-religious hate and sentiment.
Yes,
I mean, I think it would actually be an offense to probably go and
yes,
preach to.
yes, correct.
It's going to
So,
wear us down. It's going to
yeah,
make us question our own faith. So
yeah,
how
actually,
do we then navigate this so that
Yeah,
We're
actually,
creating
by right,
a
the whole world is Krishna's property. So everywhere is a place to preach. But since we cannot expect an ideal scenario because we are all conditioned living entities, there is two classes of men whom you can preach to. Number one, the innocent, right? Like for example, many new devotees have joined today. They like to hear the kirtan or they like to hear the devotees speak, and maybe they don't know much or they might not be following all the rules and regulations, but they have some goodwill, they have some faith which can be cultivated. Okay, so this is the first category of man whom you can preach to, the one who has innocence or faith, some preliminary faith and humility. And the person whom you are not supposed to preach to, okay, is a person who's envious, who's actively envious and who's like vehemently against God. So these two people are there. So if you find that somebody is envious against God and he's not willing to take your instructions and rather battle with you about the philosophy and just put the Hare Krishna movement down and offend the followers, then we just ignore and leave them. Because by actually preaching to them, we commit the offense,
Yes.
right? Because by preaching to them, we are giving them, or we are rather acting as a medium for them to commit more offenses and speak more bad things about the philosophy, about Krishna consciousness. But
Yeah.
suppose if we did not even go and meet them, then maybe at that particular moment they wouldn't have spoken such nonsense. So you have to just identify who's innocent, who's envious. If somebody is innocent, then you preach to him. Somebody is not even interested and he's envious or he's vehemently opposed and anti-religion, as you say, then don't even approach him because that's not only a waste of time, but
Yeah.
also we are hindering our own spiritual progress by committing offenses.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but
Prabhu, that,
but
yeah.
most times we have to approach to know if they are innocent or not, because usually we cannot know before. Rarely we know beforehand. So today I was hearing Tadvaita Prabhu's lecture. He said that to know if someone is innocent, you have to preach to him. But when you see that okay, now he is envious, then you have to stop and you have to go to the next one.
Yes, yeah, but Jay Prabhu was asking about like how the institutions and everything work, right? So I just connected with, like, for example, if you know that a place is for sure, anti-religion and very envious of God, then you don't approach. But yeah, in the general sense, you have to know who's envious and who's innocent.
On a
But
more
if
individual
there's
level also. Yeah, but you're right. My
yes,
question was more about spaces and where we should even go to preach or
yes,
not.
correct,
Like
correct. Yeah, yeah, that's what I figured it out.
present
So
that
if you
we're Vaishnavas and we have a
But
yes,
philosophy
any
and whatnot.
place can work because for example, there is these festivals that there is only like heavy metal rock bands. They are all like satanic in their thing, but even places like that we can distribute books. We just have to know the way how they will buy the book, not go directly at them to say that, oh, something, God is the greatest, you are low, Jesus is something, this and that. We should know the way. Okay, they might like science more because they're atheistic, so through science we can show that okay, if you chant this mantra, you will your mind will be calm, and this, and without mentioning God even, we can preach to them and make them buy a book by hook and crook.
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, that's a fact. But generally, it is more advised to go to a place if you have an option. Of course, if one is very advanced, he can do this. But for example, like generally places to not go is like a bar, somewhere where intoxication is very, very high, and any like anti-religion, communist parades, all of this, when you see that is going on, or some place where the people have absolutely no kind of, they're abusing drugs and they're doing very much
Yes,
very
Prabhu.
unclean habits, you don't approach them generally.
Yeah, generally, but the question is also where then, right? Because yes, there's the
Yes.
contamination from the, let's say, like I'm in the music scene, I'm very actively a part of it here in Berlin.
Yes. So you can
Uh,
go to some
and
place
there
where,
is, I can give you an example how, yes, there is, there are parts of the scene where people are driven by and influenced by intoxication. There are also parts that aren't, right? And I think generally for an outsider who might not be familiar with this scene, it's better to avoid and stay away. Um, so yes, we have to be careful, but I also feel that sometimes on the surface, like I think it's more tricky when on the surface things seem like they're spiritual. Like on the surface, it looks like, okay, it's a normal street. These people are not intoxicated, but they might have even more envy and hatred in their heart. I think it's just the illusory nature which is sometimes hard to like penetrate and try and
Yeah.
get a sense of, okay, is this person, like Sami Prabhu said that, let's say in the music scene, people are more artistic or might be more, uh, scientifically inclined also. So I think it's that I'm trying to get at more the subtle kind of mentality and attitudes. Um,
In book distribution,
Sometimes overlooking the, yeah, yes, Prabhu.
we don't have to talk much anything about philosophy. It's mostly
Yeah,
saying that
distribute, yeah, yes.
because anyone will give donation if he's a little bit even good-hearted. We can say we feed the poor, we have food for life program, we do this and this, we help the young people who struggle with drugs and all these things we can help because anyone wants to do some, kind of service to the community. So if we do say like this, some people will, of even the atheistic ones, they will help. But if we talk philosophy, they won't accept anything. Sundar Gopal Prabhu always says that don't preach philosophy. Only if
Yes.
come and ask about philosophy, then we can tell them answer to their questions. But otherwise, going to philosophy, and if they're completely meat eater atheistic, they won't accept and they won't be interested also.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
fact. Yeah, but generally, as you said, where to go? Yeah, you go to beach, park. Of course, probably we are speaking generally. Okay, you can always find the outlier in any circumstance, right? But generally, yeah, beach, park, and you are saying you're in the music scene. So if you think that some persons are not always entirely intoxicated and out of their mind, then yeah, you go approach them. That's fine. Generally, these places are all good. So, for example, even in India, like in our temple, you see Pondicherry is like a you can say like an alcohol capital, in India. So many people are always drunk. There's a lot of bars and there's a lot of prostitution, all of this going on. But our devotees, they go to the beach, some neutral place, they go to the beach. There are some temples as well, to be frank. So they go to the temple, they go to the beach, and then also outside our temple, there's like a huge road. It's not a road where the cars go very fast. So they distribute there. So in some place which is neutral, which is not too much influenced by intoxications. This is not to say that you're not going to find one person in the bar who's not going to buy your book. We are not saying that. Yeah, that can always happen. But generally, we try to distribute in a place where people are a little bit more open-minded and they're much more willing to actually, speak with us. So you should find a place like that, beach, park, and if you're in the music scene, some place where the people are, kind of more open-minded, and you can request them. And also, don't speak the philosophy. You can just speak about the fact that we take a donation to print these books about God consciousness, and this donation goes to feed the poor with prashadam, and we also do a lot of social service, etc., etc. This way, they'll buy the book.
So,
So,
like,
yeah.
book is about universe, consciousness, karma, how to control the mind, things like this. Not even need to mention God.
Fraud. Yeah.
That scares a lot of people if they hear God and
Mm,
something like this.
true.
And also,
So if I would like to get involved in book distribution,
one
who
to
should I reach out to? Lal Prabhu?
oh, 1 second. Prabhu, the persons who like music also, usually because, music is sound engineering. It is how to engineer the mind to work in a certain way through different sound vibrations. Because if you play sad music, someone will become sad. If you play happy, very energetic music, that will affect the mood. So, like this, you can also explain to the music persons that these mantras are just certain type of sound vibration that is really beneficial for the consciousness. So that's in this way they will understand because they know that the music has power. So mantra will also have power. So then they will realize, okay, this is something real.
Oh, yes, Prabhu, absolutely. In fact, that was also to an extent how I got attracted to Vaishnav philosophy.
Yes, Prabhu.
Um, so totally. I think, there's people have so many entry points, and I think especially if you have understanding of certain types of people and you know how you can introduce things. There can be many creative ways to approach it without touching their, um, like their pain points or the points that they have biases towards that they might not, if they hear the word God, then they might not even want to open up. So yeah, I think we can. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, of course. After all, this comes by experience also. So just the general idea. So everything happens from experience, all the learning. So if you want to contact to get some Prabhupada books along with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra cards, you can, as of now, you can get in touch with Sami Prabhu. Sami Prabhu, you have the ability to link him up with getting Prabhupada books, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you can link up with Sami Prabhu and he can give you the Prabhupada books with the ISKM logo and also the ISKM Hare Krishna cards. He has a lot of them, and he
Okay,
can,
Prabhu, that would be great.
yeah, you can connect with him. He will guide you. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Also, I wanted to get a mridanga, and I was wondering if it's possible to get one, a decent one in Europe, or if you all have any recommendation.
Oh,
Would be nice.
Bisham.
well, yeah, you can contact Sham Govanda Prabhu. He is our brahmachari in ISK in Pondicherry. He is also a very, very nice Mridanga player. And he can guide you where to get, whether you want to get one from India or whether you should get one from Europe somewhere. He can guide you because he knows the in and out of this. Anyway, you'll get the number of Sham Govanda Prabhu from Sami
I'm
Prabhu as well.
going.
So he will guide you.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Prabhu.
thanks,
Yeah.
Dr.
So do you play instruments as well?
Yes, Prabhu. I was playing guitar, bass, drums for quite some time. Now I'm producing more electronic music, kind of ambient, rhythmic, playing a lot with sound and tone, um, and yeah, somewhat also dance music oriented.
Right, right. Mhm. Very nice, Prabhu. Happy to hear that you have this instrument skill. You can also do some kirtans or something like that, perhaps in the future, along with book distribution, because they always go very well together, both of them.
Yes, Prabhu. Ideally,
Kirtan.
that's what I would want to do eventually.
Yes. Yeah, eventually you can plan something like this. Kirtan and book distribution goes on very nicely. Right, Prabhu. So anyway, it's getting quite late here in India. It's about 8 p.m. I have to tend to some other things. So thank you all for your kind association. Uh, Forgive me for my offenses. Vanchakalparubheshta kripasmi. Dubbe vacha paritanam pavane vaishnavi namo namaha.
Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you. Haribol.
Krishna Prabhupada.